Alrighty. So, excuse me while I get things synced up here, just to start with. I ended up having a false start. This is the first time I've had a false start in a live stream. I guess it had to happen eventually. What do I mean by false start? I guess I just wasn't happy with how I was introducing it to start with, so... Instead of pretending like it didn't happen, I'm going to be transparent with you guys and say, hey, it did happen, but anyway. How that ends up happening, and you'll have to excuse my display. That's just me resyncing it, that's why I sort of stopped moving for a while there. But anyway, just how it happens is I suppose you're sitting there at the moment wanting to talk and then you just can't really get the thoughts out that you want to get out. But anyway, welcome ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the very first part of my, I guess, re-recording now of my playthrough of Wind Waker on the Gamecube. Now, what do I mean by re-recording of the playthrough? I didn't do the entire playthrough, I just did a 2-hour or so long live stream recording of this about a week ago. In fact, I think it was exactly 1 week ago. Last Monday. It is currently Monday, obviously, if I'm saying that it was exactly 1 week ago. But the reason why I was having those problems before was because I was having internet issues, and that's why I had to re-record. Because I don't know if you guys are aware of this fact, you might be, you might not be. That recording was removed from my channel because not only was it split into 2 parts, but the parts that were actually present on my channel had big skips in them because of the internet problems that I was having. I managed to fix those internet problems on Saturday, and it is currently Monday, so I have more or less been in the clear. No, it was Friday, I think it was. Or was it Saturday? Well, I fixed the problem on Friday, did a live stream on Saturday, and here I am on Monday, in technically the 3rd day since I have properly been able to access my internet at decent speeds as opposed to crap speeds. But anyway, the frustration for me was that the previous recording that I did... ooh, that's not good. My Wii is currently tilting over and is being stopped from being completely knocked over by my Switch, so I'll be back in just a moment. Obviously I didn't set that up too well, and I had my, you see, of course my Gamecube controller is wired, obviously, and, well, not obviously, you can't really see it. There do exist Gamecube controllers that are wireless, but this is not one of those. I do actually have a wireless Gamecube controller. It's really funny. There's a funny story about that wireless Gamecube controller. Basically, what ended up happening was that I had the wireless Gamecube controller, the actual controller itself, but then I lost the receiver of it, the one that you would plug into the, whether it be the Gamecube or the Wii, whatever you're using to play. I lost that, so obviously I couldn't actually connect the controller to the Wii or the Gamecube. And I found it in a really obvious place after not being able to find it for like 3 years. So yeah, probably more than 3 years actually, but that was 3 years ago. So we're talking about a long period of time. But anyway, I don't know why I'm not using that controller. I'm just using it's not a standard controller. Saying standard controller might indicate the fact that it's well, an actual official Gamecube controller, but it's not. Regardless, this recording here is going to be a very relaxed recording. I'm just going to play through the game for you guys, and the reason why I'm doing that, which is worth mentioning I think, is I plan to do a pyjama mode let's play for Wind Waker at some point in the future. I'm not even going to say that it will be this year. It most likely won't be this year, in fact. But you can see that this is the file that I was using. You can see the 21st of January 2019 is when I was last playing there. It is now the 28th, so needless to say, 7 days ago. We're going to erase this data because I'm not going to be returning to that. You have not been able to view back what I have recorded there, so we're not going to actually continue from where I left off. That would be a bit ridiculous. I'm not too concerned about replaying it, it's just I was a little bit frustrated for a while that I would need to do that. But anyway, so this recording is pretty much going to be a complete repeat of what I did before. You probably didn't see it, but if you did, then I apologise for the repeat. I have a bottle of Tramont which is right here. This is the bottle. It's a fairly nice bottle of beer. It's a corked bottle, so I actually uncorked it off camera because that's an annoying thing to do on camera, especially if the thing decides to spurt out beer all over my carpet. So what I tend to do is take it into the bathroom just to be safe, because look, I spent the longest time not bothering to do that, and then one day it went everywhere, and needless to say I was quite regretful of that scenario. So I decided never again will I allow that to happen, and so here I am being nice and careful and always doing it in the bathroom. But anyway, what am I doing? Did I even open that in another? Oh god, the cicadas are well and truly back. It's funny because, oh god, I wasn't able to speak there for a brief moment. But it's really funny because the cicadas, for the longest time this morning, were not actually coming out. Like, they just were not there. And then as soon as I'm ready to start recording, the sun comes out. There was enough light before for me to record, because as you know, I rely on the natural lighting quite a bit, but the sun came out more, and with the sun came out the cicadas. I had enough lighting before, and I didn't bloody need the cicadas, but both of them came, and now I'm a little frustrated, but anyway, that's life, isn't it? So, what we're doing right now is creating a new quest log, and we're going to name it Link, obviously. And then we're going to get straight into the game because I don't really want to mess around here for too long. One thing that I do want to mention, actually I'll take you through this before we make this quest log. This quest log 1 is my original quest log that I created in 2006. Why does it say 2011? Because I was an idiot and actually saved over it in 2011, and I think I regretted the decision immediately at that time. What happened was I had my original save, and then sometime in 2009, I moved it into a pyjama mode save, which obviously required me to start the game over again from the start. And then I read online that you don't need to put it in the same quest log as the one that you were originally playing on. So let's say, for instance, that you take the game to the end, defeat Ganondorf, and then you're able to create a new pyjama mode quest log. I read online that you can put that in any other quest log, but at the time, and I still think that this is the case because that's my memory of it, I needed to put it in that quest log 1, the one that I had gotten to 100% on, well not 100%, but completed the game on. And so therefore that original character was gone. Now, that was in... No, I'm getting confused. I think I'm getting confused with the dates. No, it was 2009, sorry. So, by 2009 I was doing the pyjama mode save. And then... Or maybe it wasn't 2009, but I remember that the last time that I had saved on this first quest log was in 2009. It might have been earlier when I started the pyjama mode save, but that was the last time that I'd saved on that file. And then in 2011, I saved over the 2009 date, which is annoying because obviously the further back the date, the nicer it is, you know. But you can see I haven't really played through this particular quest log very much. It's funny because as I got through the pyjama mode, I kind of missed being able to look at Link in his green clothes. So what ended up happening was I created a new quest log with the intention of 100%ing it. As you can see, I fell a little bit short of that goal, but I started that in 2011, I can tell you. Because that was the last time I saved on this file, and then I remember not long after that going on to create a new quest log, which was this one here. The last time that I saved on that one was in 2013. So I think I was maybe even doing a Let's Play around that time of this game, but and that recording probably exists somewhere, but don't know where it is. But anyway, no, I think I do know where it is. So to reach the end of that little discussion here, we are now in the present day. We're not going to name ourselves Mink, we're naming ourselves Link, because Mink is not a good name. It sounds a little bit naughty in a weird way. Mink. I mean, listen to that word, mink. It sounds like minx, that's what it is, and minx is, well, it has a sexual connotation, I guess. But anyway, so as you can see, the white balance here is a little bit better than in my previous live stream, the first part first part of my Monster Hunter livestream series. The reason why I am doing the air quotes there is because I'm going to re-record that. I'm not actually going to delete it from the channel, but let's say, for instance, in the future I have a... well, not even let's say, as if it's a hypothetical, this will be the case in the future. I'll be having a Monster Hunter livestream series playlist. That actual first recording is not going to be included. Instead, I'm going to put whatever I re-record in that playlist as the first video. So there you go. It's annoying because I have the camera kind of high up, so I have to do this shit for you to be able to see it. It's actually quite frustrating. Now that I look at this glass, I might give it a wash. So just a rinse. It's just got some markings along the rim. I don't like that. So I'll be back in a brief moment. I'll let you guys watch this opening cutscene, which actually does last for quite a while. So anyway, I'll see you guys in a moment. But yeah, I've been sort of messing around with the height of my camera. I really do want to bring it down, maybe in the next video that I record. But anyway, we'll worry about that when it happens, I suppose. So you have to pour it up here like an idiot. Ooh, it's got a lot of fucking froth, so we'll do it that way. Anyway. It's a very nice beer, this one. When I was recording the last time in Wind Waker, I thought that I had the last one in their bottle shop, but as I found out a few days later, they actually had a lot in the back, so I was happy about that. That was one thing that I was really annoyed about when it came to that particular recording. I was thinking, I had this last bottle of Clermont that I was able to use for the live stream, and then, well, use, more like drink. For the live stream, and then that live stream didn't even come to anything because of those recording issues that I was having because of the poor internet. But yeah, fortunately it wasn't the last, so there you go. Cheers, everyone. The game looks alright. It's funny because I usually record on a completely different capture card. Or at least I did before I started recording with the Elgato, and you know, the game looks really good here. I'm happy with how it's being, well, not streamed to OBS, but it's being, the footage is being passed through to OBS, and it looks nice. I like how it appears. And of course I did do a little bit of editing with the colours just to sort of make it perfect, because the idea is that sometimes you have to mess with the colours a little bit. Basically, I've gotten the colours so that they look good. Not so that you would look at the actual colours and go, oh, they've been edited. Nothing like that. More just balancing it out a little bit. So this is Aryll, obviously. Link's sister. And she basically runs around going, "Oi!" And apparently that means big brother in whatever language that is. It's definitely not Japanese, I can tell you that much. But anyway. Just as a side note, I just remembered, I've been doing a Let's Play of Final Fantasy 13, right? And I suck at that game, and I have this guy who's always commenting. He's leaving these long comments with the intention of helping me through the game. And the most recent comment on the last video that I did for Final Fantasy 13, which I just read this morning, just before I started setting up for this recording. I was laughing because he was like, because towards the end of the video, I was getting smashed by the enemies, right? And apparently I'm really underleveled. I don't know how. I didn't realize that I could grind levels in this game, but regardless. He said to me that I'm a bit mentally behind. I'm mentally behind. It's like I'm an idiot or something. I'm telling you, the game is shit. All right. To start with, while doing a commentary, all the fucking tutorial stuff goes over my head a little bit because I'm more focused on being able to do a decent commentary than actually absorbing the information that the game is telling me. But the funny thing is that because the game's so god-awful shit, I am far less inclined to put the effort into actually learning how to play the game. So, unfortunately, as a result of that, I'm now mentally behind. So, it's just something about that phrase. It's like I've failed in life or something. It's kind of like you say to a 30-year-old who maybe has a really low level of intelligence, you'd say to them, "Oh, you're mentally behind for your age." Like, it entertained me so much. I woke up in the morning and like I'm in bed and I look and I'm like, "Oh, I'm mentally behind, am I? Okay." It was just so funny to read, and I thought I'd share that with you guys because I probably wouldn't. Actually, I'd probably do it in the Let's Play video after the most recent one that I recorded for Final Fantasy 13, but I wanted to give you my my raw reaction to that comment. It was just quite funny. I do get some interesting comments from time to time. I had one guy, look, I don't get that many comments on my videos really, so I don't have that many examples to speak of, but one that really sticks out to me right now is a comment that was on my Dragon Quest Swords Let's Play, and he was getting upset about me swearing, right? And his first comment was like, "Stop swearing, guy." And then the second one, obviously he's built up some frustration at this point. His second comment was, "Get arrested for swearing." And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But maybe that's what he would like. But he didn't give me the sense that he was joking, so. What I have found is it's best not to assume that people are joking all the time on the internet, because there are some really stupid people on the internet, I think you'll find. Like, phenomenally stupid people. And it's not just on the internet as well. You see, I work in customer service, and what that environment teaches you is that people, not all people, but there are people out there who are so incredibly stupid that if you weren't standing in front of them and talking to them, you would not believe that humans could actually be that stupid. But some people really, really are that stupid. So, and the thing is, these people lead productive lives. This is the incredible thing. We're not just talking about emotional intelligence. It's also, it is mostly emotional intelligence, but there's more to it than that. There's some kind of mental faculty missing with some of these people, yet they lead rather productive lives, and maybe in some cases successful lives, and yet I talk to them and I go, "Wow, you're fucking stupid." But, you know, and I have a very balanced viewpoint on that. I consider their perspective, my perspective, I look at it objectively and subjectively. As far as identifying what's objective and what's subjective as far as how I'm looking at the situation, and I'm always able to come to the conclusion very solidly. Like, I'm never, "Oh, I don't know if this is the case or that's the case." If I've made the, I guess, what's the word? If I've made the assessment that the person's a fucking idiot, they're a fucking idiot, because, you know, I'm really, really forgiving of people's stupidity, you have to understand. Because the thing is, you and me have had moments in time in life where you go, "Oh, wow, that was stupid of me." And I am fully, I recognize that fact. We do have moments in time in life where we do stupid things. But, you know, the point is, I'm aware of that. And despite my awareness of this fact, I can very comfortably say that there are some very, very stupid people in the world. Like, genuinely stupid. Not people who just had a stupid moment, but who are, in fact, completely and utterly mentally deficient. And that's a shame. That's a real shame. So basically what I'm telling you is that anyone who seems profoundly stupid on the internet, I can assure you it's not just on the internet where people are very, very stupid. To the extent where you would be left going, can people really be that stupid? It happens in the real world as well. But anyway, let's go talk to Errol. She was relaxing with the seagulls, and then we came along and basically ruined her day, so yeah. It's funny because the reason why the live stream setting and the Let's Play setting are so different is because I can just sort of sit here and chat away about whatever I really want to, because it's just a relaxed, casual live stream that I'm doing right now, and to be honest, I wouldn't want to do that in a Let's Play. You can do that in a Let's Play if you want to, but I don't particularly want to do that. Let me just try to... I was going to say edit, like that's not the word. Maybe if I do that. That's a bit better, isn't it? Yes, that's a lot better. Maybe we'll just do it like that. It's alright. One problem, however, is that we've got... I can shift that a bit. Haha, you don't want to see that. It's more a case of me being really awful with my green screen, and instead of fixing my green screen behind me, I'm moving the camera so that you don't see the bullshit behind me. Excuse me, Jesus. You're probably going, go on, Doomling, vomit. No, I'm not gonna vomit, don't worry. I just had a bit of gas. It's just so much gas that it was like something physically was going to come out. Now, one frustrating thing is that when I was setting up for this recording, as I mentioned before, there wasn't that much light. As well as that, it wasn't very hot because of the lack of sunlight. Now that the sun is out, it's starting to get really frickin' hot in my room, and I'm not very impressed with that. And I was hoping that it was going to be another cool day, because, shut up, fucking background noise. Anyway, that was also another thing that was marring my first recording of Monster Hunter live stream series thing. Anyway, so that's another story that I don't want to get into. But, yeah, the point is that yesterday was a cooler day, especially towards the end of the day into the evening. It was, this guy is still wanting to talk to us, and I'm not talking to him, FYI, it's just not going to happen. So, oh, I'm being really, really stupid, guys. I'm not actually paying attention to what I'm doing in the game. You guys are probably going, Doomlink, what exactly are you doing right now? To give you an answer to that question, I don't know. I was just getting ahead of myself, basically. We received a telescope from Errol at the top of the lookout here. What we actually need to do is stay on the lookout, not go somewhere else, because there's nothing for us to do elsewhere at this moment in time. We want to equip the telescope and then start looking around. At that point we can actually start the next cutscene, which will allow us to continue through the game. It's kind of an interesting perspective here, because I mean, I look really big. Maybe we'll just raise it up a little bit. But you can see that it's looking down on me a little bit, as opposed to being directly in line with me. It's because before I had it too low. It's because I was using my tripod for something else. I was actually filming someone, and I had to edit the tripod. Edit? Why do I keep saying edit? That means that I'm really, really not in the physical world when it comes to my word usage. I'm instead thinking about the online world or the digital world, using a computer. I had to make adjustments to the height of the tripod, so obviously whatever height I had it at originally was like this perfect fluke, and ever since then I haven't been able to get it perfect. So anyway, the seagulls had gathered again, and we just went ahead and shooed them away once more. I'm looking at the red post box. Now the best thing to do is to zoom in like that. That's the best way to do it, otherwise you start having problems with this cutscene starting. You want to sort of position the post box directly in the center of your telescope and then zoom all the way in, then the cutscene will start. Sometimes I've had it so that if you're zoomed really close to all the way in, or maybe even all the way in, and then you look at the post box, it just doesn't initiate the cutscene, so, or it doesn't fulfill the requirements to get the cutscene initiated anyway, so. I'm happy with the white balance at the moment. There was a brief moment there where my display just stopped sharing there. Gonna watch that back. Yeah, I saw that. That was annoying. Now it's funny because it looks lighter. Why does it look lighter? That's so annoying. So depending on which way I'm facing, the white balance is more or less. And I turned off the auto white balancing, but whatever, let's just not bother with it now. It looks fine. At least I think I'm fine with it. Maybe I'll drop it down a little bit because I don't want to look at this in the future and be pissed off with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into configure video and white balance. We're just going to edit it a little bit. Oh god. We'll do that. It's a little bit darker, but hopefully it's going to be a bit more reasonable now. I don't know if it is, it's just that my playback is slightly different to OBS right now. So when I say playback, I mean the actual recording on YouTube. So anyway, doesn't matter. It should look fine in the end. If it doesn't, I'll be sad. What more can I say than that? I look a little bit orange in OBS, but I don't look orange over there, which is pissing me off. I mean, you would think at the very least that it would be consistent from OBS to YouTube, but then it's not, and so I'm left going, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? I mean, if any edits I make in OBS are just changed through YouTube anyway, it's like, well, what's the frickin' point? Anyway, I have to tell you, and as I have said in the past, streaming is a little bit of a volatile recording environment because it's happening at the moment and you need to make edits as you go along, and if you fail to make edits as you go along, you'll have an entire recording that you can't change that is already uploaded, and you'll just go and be like, oh well, this is a shit recording now because I didn't fix that problem at the time. So that's pretty much the situation, and it's annoying. But anyway, at this point we need to go and get a sword. We're not talking to that old guy, we'll be talking to a different old guy. But he's a little bit more physically able than the one that was, I guess, flailing his arm around, but anyway. Do excuse the background noise again, but there's not much I can do about it. You're not able to see my Rupee counter at the moment. I hope you can forgive that. It's just, it's currently at 000, if you can believe that. An interesting thing about this game that some of you may or may not be aware, you probably are aware of this, the number of rupees that you can get in this game is greater than pretty much any other Zelda game that I'm aware of. You can get a total of 5,000. Now to put that into perspective with another 3D Zelda game, one that actually came out after this game, Twilight Princess had a maximum of 1,000. Now I don't know about the HD version of Twilight Princess, I haven't played the HD version of Twilight Princess, and I do plan to play it very soon, or at least as soon as possible. But maybe they would have increased the rupee limit. But the reason why is because in this game, I'm pretty sure, I played the HD version last time while I was playing this game, so I'm not too sure about this now, but the reason why you're given such a high limit, or such a high number of rupees that you can carry at one time once you have all the wallet upgrades, is because of the number of rupees that you need to get the treasure charts, not the treasure charts, the Triforce charts, translated by Tingle. Now I'm pretty sure that the charts require a lot more rupees to be translated in this game compared to that of the HD version. The HD version, now, I like the HD version of this game. I think that's worth mentioning. Because, oh god, you wanted me to continue pressing only B. Very well. Not that that was entirely difficult, but anyway, now I get to do the L target plus attack. It's just a very basic sword usage tutorial. Now I need to thrust. You can hold forward to do this, you don't actually need to. Oh, fuck off, you stupid man. Anyway, so, yeah, what was I saying? Wind Waker HD, I do like the game. What did you want me to do? Fucking prick. Anyway, I mean, it's not his fault, I just didn't read what he said, but anyway. Oh my god, this is the worst thing about it, like, oh never mind, I need to do the counter attack. Apparently the jump attack is the last thing that we do. I don't know why, you'd think the counter would be the last, but no, the jump attack is the last one that we do. But the HD version of the game, the problem with it, and I think it did a really good job, but, well, I say the game did a very good job. I think that Nintendo did a very good job, or whoever had to work on the HD version of the game. I'm sure they had a specific group who worked on it. I'd say they did a very good job as far as keeping the spirit of the game alive. It wasn't diluted through any unnecessary changes, I don't think, and in a lot of ways the changes that were made and the additions that were made were actually to the benefit of the game itself. However, the game was already so easy in the Gamecube version, and yet there were times where you would be left going, why is the game even easier now in the HD version? Like, how could they possibly justify making Wind Waker even easier in the HD version? An example of this, and I'm pretty sure this is correct, they had a lower rupee cost for the translating of the Triforce charts through Tingle. I'm pretty sure, because my memory of it is that it's a lot of frickin' rupees, and then it was only something like 250 per chart when I was doing it in the HD version, and I was left going, what? Because I was prepared to like pay thousands of rupees for these charts, and then I'm looking at this and going, wow, I only need to pay like a bit over 1,000 for all the charts, so. It was just this weird moment where I didn't really know what the hell was going on. It's so interesting that my playback has a completely different brightness to that of OBS. What it must be is a difference in display. Maybe the colors on that monitor are completely different to the colors in this monitor. The colors over there are really washed out, but these colors are really like intense. But anyway, who knows, who cares? It looks fine to me. So let's just keep it that way. Do excuse the cicadas in the background. So I'll mention that the shield is something that we get later on. For now, all we need is the sword, so we're just going to use the sword. I keep falling off this thing, and that's pretty much Wind Waker in a nutshell. Me trying to go places and just failing at going places. It's a very simple thing to go in a straight line or follow a narrow path, but not for me, not in Wind Waker. I have a few problems doing that, apparently. But anyway, the shield is something that we need when we leave the island. So I remember in the first recording that I did for this little video series that I'm doing here, I say little not ironically, but it will actually be a little video series, especially when compared to my Monster Hunter livestream series and my Demon Souls livestream series. But anyway, what was I going to say? Yes, in the original recording that I did for this series, I did actually, well, the original attempt at this recording that you're seeing right now, I actually tried to get the shield before going to this place, and that's obviously not necessary at all. You just need the sword. And it doesn't actually let you get the sword anyway. No, it doesn't let you get the shield. It doesn't let you get the sword. Well, how the hell would you go in here then? That's the question, Doomling. I'll mention also that if you want some rupees, there are, well, there might just only be one. Yeah, one red rupee in here. Let's go and grab it, shall we? I'll mention that once you're in a position like this, where you're in a tight space, you don't actually need to hold R to crouch anymore. It just auto crouches at that point, because you can't stand up. So, obviously, if you let go of R to crouch, you're not going to stand up, because you literally cannot, so that's no problem at all. But yeah, interestingly enough, I don't have anyone watching the live stream at the moment, sad times, but definitely is going to be something that you guys can watch back in the future, and I hope you enjoy watching it, because I enjoy recording it, and that's what it's all about. And the reason why I want to live stream it, and this is a thing that needs to be understood by myself more than anyone else, because it doesn't really concern me if people aren't watching the live stream while it's being recorded, or at least it shouldn't concern me, because the whole idea of live streams for me, on a practical level, is that I don't have to edit all of the shit and then process it, etc, etc, then upload it. It's a huge skipping of processes that otherwise would need to be undertaken. So for something like this, like me doing an entire playthrough of this game, imagine having to edit all of that shit. Well, I don't need to do that when I'm live streaming it, so it's nice and easy. Apparently, after being kidnapped by a bird and being dropped in a forest, the first thing that is on this girl's mind is the fact that we're dressed funny. But anyway, speaking of things that are funny, this guy is funny. Not funny ha-ha, but funny weird. But it may be funny ha-ha as well. I don't know. So yes, the bird did drop you on the summit. But yeah, at this point, I'm going to be doing this as a live stream for the benefit of not having to actually edit it. So that's why this is happening as a live stream series as opposed to a edited recording. So yeah, that was the intention before. I knew that when I was live streaming, and I knew as soon as I wanted to do the pyjama mode thing, it would be a case of me live streaming it if I was going to share it with you guys. I was either going to live stream it or not share it with you at all. And I was thinking, well, if I'm not recording it, it's going to be really boring for me to play it. So yeah, I wanted to just wait until I could live stream it before I could get the pyjama mode thing on the go. And what was I going to say? That's right, pyjama mode. From what I understand, it is possible that I could take the... You know how I have a completed file? It's completed in the sense that I've basically reached the point where I'm killing Ganondorf. If I launched that file and tried to get into pyjama mode that way and create a save file, I might be able to do that. But I'm a bit worried that I'm going to accidentally save over that file, and I just don't want to do that. So if you don't mind, I would like to just play through the game on this file and then make this file the pyjama mode version. That's all. I understand that if there is a scenario where I can actually launch the game in Questlog 2, kill Ganondorf, and then make Questlog 3 pyjama mode, that saves me a lot of effort. But I just don't trust it. I don't trust what the one person who I read online said, which was that I can basically create pyjama mode in whatever quest log that I want. I have no recollection of that, because I feel that if I were able to do that, I wouldn't have saved over my original quest log 1 at the time that I did that. But there is obviously the possibility that I had a lapse of judgment at that time and saved it over the first quest log when I could have just made a new one for pyjama mode. So because I want to play it safe, I'm going to do what you're seeing right here. And I think there is a certain level of entertainment value in this, so yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be going on here. Now, I'm just wondering if I should bother. You know what, we're just going to do it for the sake of it. We're going to share this live stream. I wasn't going to do it for a number of reasons, but I've decided that I want to do it. So let's just go ahead and do it, shall we? Because maybe someone, somewhere, will want to watch this on, well, in the place where I share it. So we'll see what the thumbnail is. It's actually alright. I don't mind the thumbnail. It doesn't look literally horrendous. I mean, I look a little bit white, but, like, in the thumbnail, but that's probably, don't worry about it. It's probably just the display, the shitty display on my laptop, but regardless. I can tell you for sure that in OBS I don't look fucking white, so if I do look white on YouTube for whatever reason, then it's really well and truly beyond my control. It's just that I'm a little bit, I don't know, scared after that whole recording that I did in Generations Ultimate, the first Monster Hunter livestream that I did, and I look like a frickin' pasty ghost. But the main frustration being that that was actually a pretty good recording apart from that issue, and for me that's a big issue. If I look like a fucking ghost for the entirety of the recording, that bothers me a lot, so yeah. Anyway, there's really not much I can do about it. So at this point we are going to be leaving the island fairly soon. As far as what I plan to do in this video overall, it depends on my time efficiency. So if I take too long to finish the Forsaken Fortress, I probably won't do the first dungeon in this video. The Forsaken Fortress is dungeon-esque, but it's not actually the first dungeon of the game. The first dungeon of the game is the Dragon Roost Cavern on Dragon Roost Island. It really depends on how much I want to actually record in this video, and I don't know how much I want to record. Maybe 3 hours, I can do that. Doesn't bother me too much. I've been recording for about 40 minutes and we haven't even left frickin' Outset Island, so maybe I'm not doing too well for time at this point. But if I do choose to do a 3 hour long recording or so, maybe even longer than that, then maybe we can actually, or maybe we'll just do a super long recording, maybe we can do that. Hello cicadas, I missed you so very much. The shield is gone, what is happening? Now this is what I like to do. And you'll have to excuse me for this. Come on, I want to actually be a bit more on target here. I like to backflip into the cutscene, you know, like that's part of my entertainment. You'll have to excuse me. But anyway, I'm happy that at the very least, what I'm recording here is going to look good after the fact of the live stream taking place. So in the post-recording, it will look good. Whereas the original recording that I did for this did not look good in either the live stream or the post-recording, so yeah, it wasn't the best scenario. But once again, those internet issues are fixed, and I will never again be having internet issues while recording. So that is a plus, guys. But anyway, I understand that what is happening on the screen right now is rather sad. It's just that I've played through the game so many times that I don't care anymore, so you'll have to excuse me for my lack of emotions when it comes to the... God, if I could possibly speak English, that would be phenomenal. But yeah, I'm not very emotional when it comes to that, so yeah, you'll have to excuse me for that. Anyway, just making sure that there's nothing going on in the corner of the screen there, like you're not seeing the shitty backdrop. Let me tilt my... oh, the other way. Okay, you can't see anything. I just don't want there to be any weird bits of the green screen not in shot, because if the green screen isn't in shot, then you can see what's behind, and it just looks like crap, so I'd prefer not to have that situation arise. Oh, I've got a second viewer. Hello, person. You see, as soon as I share it in that particular channel, I do get viewers, but anyway. Oh, and they're gone. Bye. Didn't take long for them to decide that they didn't want to watch. It's very interesting. I mean, maybe it has something to do with strange connections to the live stream and the way in which that relays itself back to me. But from what I can tell, it's very common for people to just like get on the live stream, watch it for the best part of 5 seconds and then do something else. Are we really at the point where people's attention spans are that low? Like, geez. The way in which that I try to do my commentary is so that no matter what time a person tunes into the live stream, I'm being super engaging. But maybe it's not good enough for these people, I don't know. Like, what do they want me to do? Do I need to put on a funny hat and do a dance? I don't know. But it does entertain me when I think about it. But it doesn't actually frustrate me. That's the point. So, regardless. At this point, before we get to the Forsaken Fortress, we will be doing a side quest. Well, side quest. It's more like a mini game, is what I should call it. With Nico, who is the... well, what is his role on this ship? I don't even know. I guess he's the swabby? But, meaning that he, you know, does all the cleaning, I guess. I think that's what that is. If I wanted to mess around a little bit more, I'd probably go to the top of the crow's nest and have a look around. But I couldn't really be bothered doing that right now. This is Tetris Room, and this guy is protecting Miss Tetra's cabin. So we're not able to go in, and he doesn't really want to go in himself, I don't think, because if he does, then he'll get in trouble. But, I mean, we all know what would happen if he discovered Miss Tetra's drawer full of dildos. But anyway, first off, you got to press this switch. Yes, he's basically explaining to us how to do the minigame. The minigame is not very difficult at all. It's funny because in the original recording that I did, I was basically really talking down this minigame, and then I failed a lot of times after having talked it down, so I'm not going to do that this time. I'm instead going to say, hey, if you're impatient in any way, shape or form while doing this minigame, it's going to give you some problems. But if you can actually, I guess, get beyond the fact that you want this to go quickly, and instead of trying to do it fast and failing, you just take it nice and slow, at that point, it's going to take you less time overall than trying to do it fast. So just take it slow and you'll save time in the end. I guess that's where the phrase slow and steady wins the race comes from. So, if you're reckless and do things too fast, you'll fail and therefore lose time. But if you take it nice and slow, you're consistent and you'll win the race. So that's basically how that phrase works. Jesus, that second viewer did not last long at all, because sometimes, you know, they'll leave and come back and then leave and come back, maybe due to their own connection problems. But look at that, you know, just to start with, right in the very beginning, I fell. I didn't even manage to get onto the first frickin', I mean, maybe it has something to do with my controller, I don't know. But one thing that I can tell you is that this does give me the shits from time to time. So what we're going to do, this is what I figured out when I was last playing. The best thing to do is to do a full swing, go back, and then try on the return swing. Just to give you the good timing on that. So just like this is fine. You have a little bit more room to mess up there, I think. Well, not room to mess up, but you can travel a further distance. You fucking dog. Okay, what we should have done in the first place is actually repress the switch. Because from the moment that this minigame starts, you're on a timer, basically. And whenever you press the switch down on the other side, and then press this one down again, you have essentially restarted the timer. So if I can pretty much do it like that, then we'll be across here in no time. Whew, that was dangerous. Suck my cock, mate. What? You did it already? Yeah, that's how you do it, guys. Basically, as soon as you actually grab onto the rope, you press A to jump off immediately, because you will have enough distance at that point to reach the platform. The biggest problem that people have, and by people I mean myself, when it comes to this minigame, is getting too much distance when you're jumping. So, yeah. Highly recommended that you use your brain and instead look at what works and what doesn't work. So, yeah. It's really freaking hot. I would put the fan on, but there are two things to mention. The fan is shit, and I accidentally left the fan on all night, so I don't want to, like, up yours, guys, up yours. Anyway, I should be doing this. Peace? What's better, peace or up yours? I don't know. But the point is that, the second point is that I left the fan on all night last night. Not because it was hot, but because I was trying to disturb the airspace around me to keep away any mosquitoes that were in my room. And I did have one that was terrorizing me in the night. So I turned the fan on, and I do find that for anyone who maybe has problems with mosquitoes in their room, they live in a hot climate like me, maybe they live in Southeast Asia or something, the best thing to do is turn your fan on, and it doesn't even need to be strong. For instance, my fan is half fucking dead. It barely creates the airflow needed to keep you cool, but just that disturbance of air is enough to repel mosquitoes. So it's kind of like how if there is any wind outside, the mosquitoes won't bother you because they can't handle the wind. They are very small creatures, if you were not aware. Why are there 2 rupees here? Obviously, when I rolled into this fell down and dropped 2 rupees, so that's very interesting. I can also do this if I want. Ah, they were pots, not just rupees sitting on the... Yeah, don't roll up this, by the way. I really want to use these swords, but these are just for decoration. At no point can you actually use swords like these, but anyway. They look a little bit too violent for a game like this, so you're not allowed to use them. But yeah, the point is that mosquitoes do terrorize me from time to time, and so, yeah. The reason why I don't want to use it now because I left it on last night is because of a funny thing called the electricity bill. Just to be transparent with you guys. Oh. Hello. I'll go up the top. Up to the crow's nest. We haven't even been recording for an hour, so I'd say that we'll be able to do Dragon Roost Island in this video pretty comfortably, so. That means that I'm making better time in this recording, I think, compared to the first one. In the original recording, I actually had this girl with a funny name in the live stream, and I was talking to her, which was nice actually. It's just that I don't know how she was able to really watch the stream. I think the connection was god fucking awful, but yeah, maybe she had good enough internet to, I guess, offset the awful streaming on my end, but regardless, she had like this name, and you'd read it, and the way it's supposed to be pronounced is completely different to how you would read it and then pronounce it based on how you read it. I don't know if she's ever going to come back. I don't even know if she subscribed to me. Probably not, but we had some weird discussions. Mainly one-sided. She had a few things to say from time to time. It was actually very funny because I saw that I had a viewer that was watching. I think I had 3 viewers during that live stream. And I said, okay, well, I didn't say this because I can't remember what I said, but constantly I was referencing the fact that I wanted to talk to that person and that they should talk to me, and eventually she talked to me. And so, yeah, it was pretty funny. It would be funny if she came back, but I don't think she will. Not in this recording, maybe in another one, but, or maybe never again, but that was pretty funny. We're just talking about how, well, I was trying to work out where the hell she was from, because the name that she had was so different to how, like, it's pronounced so different to how it's written, that I thought that she was from some other freaking country, but she was from the US, so it's like, okay. But anyway. And I had just finished describing the fact that an American viewer is like the most boring viewer that I can have, in terms of, like, where they're from, and discussing where they're from. It's like, oh, you're from the US. Okay, nothing very interesting for me to say about that, but anyway. Yes, that is quite a comedic cutscene, but I don't find it so funny anymore. This is the Forsaken Fortress, and as I said, it is quite dungeon-esque, in the sense that you can get a dungeon map. I don't think that there's a compass, but you can get a map. And there's, chill out. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but my my controller was vibrating. I'd say that you most likely pick up the cicadas better than you pick up my controller vibrating violently, so yeah, I probably won't bother drawing your attention to that fact again in the future. Might actually refill my glass. I'm about halfway done with the bottle. A bit, well, not that you can frickin' see it, but it's funny because the green screen messes around with that a little bit. It's good because, you see, how I had the camera tilted originally, I had to do this for you to be able to see it. Now I can actually comfortably frickin' do this without you, well, while you're able to see it, basically. That's... look at the head on that. Holy dick. In the words of an immature person, that head's thicker than my head. Anyway. No, seriously, that just came out of nowhere, I don't know. I'm sure someone said that in the past, but I did just come up with that just then, as a joke. So, whether or not you find that funny is your decision, but I think that's funny. Somewhat clever. If you're stupid. Clever for a stupid person. Excuse me while I lick my thumb. It's funny, my arm here Oh god, my arm is like phasing out of existence. But the point is that you're not really seeing my arm, so I don't really need to edit the chroma key settings, because to be honest, like this arm and my hand as well. Hold on. Yeah, you can see how my hand is basically phasing out of existence. The point being that the light shining on my skin creates a slight shade of green in some way or another, which the chroma key then identifies as something to make invisible. So what ends up happening is that I have holes in my arms and whatever else. But as it is, as I'm sitting here right now, the light shining on my face does not cause the chroma key to think that it's, you know, transparent. Anyway, oh god, I'm being stupid, I'm sorry. Link is like, what the hell's going on? Why am I being sent to the beginning? Alright, well, I've been sent into the jail because I'm stupid. What I got away with in the previous recording was just running straight through there and not bothering with any of the searchlights. Because I had done that last time, I decided to do it this time, but I wasn't actually watching to see where the searchlights were, so it didn't work this time, basically. Maybe I fluked it last time? I don't know. But, just topping up my my glass because it was all head and not much anything else, so... Well, not all head, but... Anyway. I will see what I can find around here. I'm pulling it out again. Are you planning on spending the rest of your life in there? Look around! I'd be surprised if a rundown cell like that didn't have a hole or two that you can... Yeah. I know what to do. Some people do try to do this intentionally, because it gets you straight into the area. Maybe it's faster, I don't know. I don't necessarily like doing it intentionally, but basically if you are sent into this jail cell, it's not a big deal, because there are positive aspects to being sent to this jail. One of them being that depending on how you want to go through the area, you can actually get through it faster by being sent directly into it. But anyway. At this point we end up on the other side of the jail cell. Keeping in mind that we don't have a sword at the moment, we have to pick up these pots and throw them to break them. But, oh yeah, we also have 26 rupees right now, because you can't see that. Because I'm in the way. I am in the way. But anyway. I have like a hair in my way. So as I said, that is the dungeon map that we get in this area, but it's not really a dungeon, it's just dungeon-esque. And probably the biggest way in which it's dungeon-like is the fact that you've got a map here that we're looking at. And to be honest, the information that is being displayed on this map is what you would have in the event that you had a compass. So therefore, we don't actually need a compass because we've already got a live display of where we are in relation to that of the map. So how it works usually is that when you get the map, you'll just get the map and that's it. But once you get the compass, you're able to see where you're moving on that map. So that's how it works. Listen up, Link. There's a monster running the searchlight. I know about this, yes. This is something that I'm aware of. You'll have to excuse my itchy nose. It's funny because during the hot weather, you won't see this during the winter, by the way, it's just during the hot weather, when my face is sort of sweating a little bit, not like drenched with sweat. If it were drenched with sweat, you'd be able to see it. It's clearly not drenched with sweat, but the point is that when my face gets hot, certain parts of my face get a little bit itchy, and one part of that is the big fucking thing protruding out. It's called a nose, and yeah, so sometimes I'm scratching it, so you'll have to excuse that. It's just that I know that... Hold on, let's just shield this guy's attack. I'll show you one way in which you can fight these guys. You can shield their attacks, and it will cause their weapons to fly away. And you can then use their weapons against them. But it's not... Oh, he's gone and picked up his weapon. So now I can go and demonstrate the other method that you can use to fight these guys. I like doing this. You're about to watch and see what happens. Ha! I killed him with the pot, so I don't even need this thing. That's excellent. That is exactly what I wanted. Now, for those of you who do get a little bit confused, and this did confuse me originally, maybe because I was retarded, and when I say originally, I don't mean during the original recording of this recording. Okay, so during the original recording of this video, I didn't have this problem, but when I was first playing through this game, I did have this problem. I was wondering, how do I stop the searchlight from moving? All you need to do is get the guy to stop operating it, and then it will stop moving, basically. So you just need to look at it, and you're able to see that it has stopped moving. That much is demonstrated in the cutscene before the fight actually occurs, so. Keeping in mind that in 2006 I was quite young. At least young enough to be able to make a stupid error like that and not know what I'm doing, but I think we want to go in this direction now. Let's go do that. Not to repeat myself, but it's frickin' hot in this room. Like, really frickin' hot. I don't know what the lighting is doing right now, to be honest. Am I white? Like, am I white right now? I don't think I'm white. Not as white as the previous video anyway. It's just, once again, I think it might be a display related thing. It's just my laptop looks brighter. It's making my face look whiter than it is on OBS just because of the different displays and the way they display the colours, so. Yeah. So that's basically our destination. So if we head up through here, I think we get access to another searchlight, so let's go do that. We'll head up through here, and then we should... Is that a searchlight that's in operation? Yes, it is. So we'll head up here. I just remember that when I first played through this level, back in 2006, I got pretty lost. So the best thing to do is just keep track of where you are whenever you're playing through the area, and just watch where you are at all times so that you don't get confused as to where you have already been and where you haven't already been, so. That was a little bit of a convoluted way for me to describe that, but the point is that, yeah, as long as you actually pay attention to the map and the automatic compass that you do have, you shouldn't actually get lost. But anyway. So there should be one more searchlight, and I may as well tell you guys why we're doing this. I think we can actually access that from over here. But yeah, the reason why we're actually doing this is because later on in the level, we are required to sidle along a wall. And if the searchlights are activated, what ends up happening is that the searchlights will actually aim onto us, and that's going to be a problem, obviously, while we're sidling around. Later on in the game, we do return to the Forsaken Fortress, and it can be a good idea to actually deactivate the searchlights at that point as well, even though they don't throw you in jail at that point. No idea why they don't, but the point is that they don't, and what they do instead is offer a target point for the cannons to start firing at you while you're trying to sidle around. Now that particular shipwreck right there is quite interesting. It's something that we can access later on when we're actually, well, not access, but we can sort of go past that area when we're sailing around the world as normal. Can we jump on this? Because I've never done this before. Guys, this might sound insane. I've been playing this game since 2006 and I've never jumped on this little wooden boat thing. So, there you go. It's amazing how you can just do new things even at this point. Now, what I'll probably do is collect these rupees because I may as well. 48, 68, 69, 70, 71. I'm just telling you the number of rupees that I have because you can't actually see it given the fact that my physical body is in the way. But anyway. We now have 74. If we head through here, I believe we will more swiftly reach the destination that we're trying to get to. Now this might sound crazy, but I have absolutely no recollection of avoiding the moblins twice. Only once did I avoid them in the original recording that I did for this live stream series, so I must have gone in a really good direction so as not to actually need to avoid them in that. Like, there's this area where you have to avoid 2 of them, right? But I skipped that area. I instead went straight up to the top, and I'd love to know how to do that. I'm basically avoiding these guys in a very, very crazy way. Normally you would use the barrel. Not going to deny that. I think I'm fucked. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get past this guy without the barrel, surely. The idea being that we can't fight them, so we just have to submit to their authority. But, anyway. We might be okay. If we can get out of this guy's sight as he returns, this one here, we should be okay. FYI, I'm hungry. I'm always... If he turns back the other way... No, he's not. Oh, dick. We need the barrel. Shut up. Oh, he found me. We get a nice shot of Link's face. He looks really concerned that he's been arrested, as you can tell. He looks phenomenally concerned. You know, generally when you're arrested, your face can be anything like... But he was... So, yeah. Obviously a career criminal, this guy. Doesn't even bat an eyelash when it comes to... Or an eyelid. An eyelash. The eyelash itself, funnily enough, is physically disconnected from the eyelid and in fact operates on of its own accord. If I could speak English, anyway. So, I just need to work out where I went last time to actually avoid all of these fucking moblins. Obviously going through that door, hey, guess what? My advice to you based on that experience is don't go through that big door. Oh, dick. Anyway, so... arrest me. Because I fell, and I don't want to mess around with you guys. In case you people haven't noticed, I'm playing like dog shit. I somehow fluked it in the original recording, because I was not paying attention to what I was doing at all in the area. Which is worth mentioning, because I'm not paying attention in this recording either, when it comes to going through this area. But I fluked it in the previous recording in the sense that I ended up at the top, where I only had to avoid 1 moblin. So that was good. But here, it seems that I need to work out how to get there, and I don't know how to get there. So, what I'll do is just continue around the circle, counterclocking. You know, Doomlink, if you could possibly speak English, I think all of us would be happy, including yourself. You are included in this, all of us. So if I continue counterclockwise through the map here, I should be alright to get to that area. If not, then I'll just avoid the moblins that I need to avoid and we should be alright. Now that I think of it, I remember that I went... Yes, I did actually... Yeah, I just needed to jog my memory a little bit. So I ended up in the room where the 2 moblins were, and you'll see the room in a moment. I don't think this is it, it's after this point. I ended up in that room, but I went from a direction where I didn't need to really avoid them. I just sort of ran past them, didn't have a problem. So, you'll see that very soon. Because you do actually need to go through that room to get to the top. That's the point. So, obviously I was being stupid in the way that I forgot that. Here it is. So see how you can, from this angle, go straight over there? If you go from that side, you need to avoid 2 of them. In this case here, I just need to wait for this guy to get out of the way. Oh, can you stop? Scheisse! Shit! Oh, fuck. What a prick. Alright, here we go again. I've not had this many problems in the Forsaken Fortress for a long frickin' time, guys. It's, once again, a fact of me not really paying attention to what I'm doing. Let's go, please. Anyway. So, I was making good time until I started messing around in the Forsaken Fortress and completely botching the run, basically. But, fortunately, it's not a speed run. Because when I say something like botch the run, it sounds as if time really matters to the run, but it doesn't. It just has to do with the fact that... Okay. Mr. Moblin, arrest me. I struggle to believe the fact that I have actually been arrested this many times. I really do struggle to believe that. But anyway, it's the reality, so I need to accept it. So here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I have a second person watching. Welcome, second person. I don't know who you are. If you are a repeat viewer of my videos, make yourself known, and then I can communicate with you, because that's what I like when it comes to live streaming. I love to communicate with my audience. Maybe it's one of my frequent Demon Souls Let's Play viewers, which would be cool. For those of you who are interested in knowing when I am going to be doing Demon Souls again, it will be within the next day or two. So I'll be doing the Morian Blade build at that point. So yeah, I just wanted to relax with a little bit of Wind Waker. I needed to record it again, so that was something that was on the agenda. And here I am doing that. But, yeah. Excuse me. Relax, Doomlink. Don't shove the glass in your mouth, please. Because my teeth are pretty fucking sturdy, so... Shadowclaw. Hey, Shadowclaw. I was thinking it was one of you repeat viewers of the live stream. Because, well, the live stream. The Demon Souls stream is what I mean to say. Do you care very much for Wind Waker? I do wonder, just out of interest. Because I feel that, for me, I went from the Zelda series being my main video game series to the Souls series, really. So, like, I went from Zelda to Monster Hunter / Souls series. So, I'm never much of a gamer, but... Well, I've never been much of a gamer, but I've always played specific series and played all of the games in those series a lot of times. And Zelda, Souls, Monster Hunter, those are the big three for me. So maybe that's the case for you as well. If it's not, then whatever. But just for your information, this rat doesn't care about me, clearly. Doesn't care about my rupees. I'm currently carrying 76. Not that you can see that. But anyway. Awesome, Shadowclaw. For those who can't read it, and you do get a live, well, it's more or less live. It's actually incredible how they do that. I don't know if they have it for Twitch. They must have it for Twitch if they have it for YouTube. But if you watch back the post-recording, you can actually look at the stream chat, and it is directly synced to the recording. So it's actually really cool. But what Shadowclaw said is that he digs the Zelda franchise, and he thinks it's always good. So I can fucking agree with that. But yeah, definitely. I remember, I mean, how do you feel about Wind Waker generally, Shadowclaw? Because a lot of people, at least when the game came out and during the... Now... I'm fucking angry. I'm laughing at how angry I am because I'm fucking angry. I'm fucking angry. Anyways, so like, how often is it that you get so angry that you laugh at how angry you are? That's me right now because. Anyway, so let's get back onto the previous discussion. So, Shadow Claw. When this game first came out, and during the first 5 or so years of its release, there were two very, very distinct camps when it comes to the game. You had the camp that... you had the camp that absolutely hated the whole Toon Link thing. And then you had the camp that were like, I don't give a fuck, it's Zelda, it's fun, that's all I care about. I was in the latter camp, the camp that said, hey, I don't care that it's Toon Link, I don't care that it's this, you know, childish looking thing. Because that's what all the Ocarina of Time players were into. They were into the more, you know, serious looking graphics, whereas these were more cartoonish. So you had those very two different camps. Yeah, it is a whole new level of anger, Shadowclaw, you are correct. It's because before you started watching, I repeatedly got thrown in jail, and that was the point where that wasn't happening anymore, you know, like I'd reached the point where, okay, cool, I'm not going to be thrown in jail anymore, and then it happened, and then at that point I was like, okay, now there is nothing about this situation that is okay anymore. And so I got really fucking angry, and I realized, hold on, I'm actually this angry, that's really funny, so I started laughing about it. So anyway, yeah, so for me, I really enjoy Wind Waker. There are some people who have issues with Wind Waker, not only in the case of it being Toon Link. I mean, that's... if anyone has a problem with Wind Waker for that reason, I would very comfortably say that they're stupid. But when it comes to the sailing, that is a different story. Some people have a problem with Wind Waker for that reason, and I really do appreciate that. For the simple reason that I can see why some people would find that boring. I love it. I used to play Wind Waker between 2006 and 2008. I would play Wind Waker just to sail around. I loved it. It had to do with the fact that, you know, graphics back then were not as good in video games, and to me, sailing around on the high seas was graphically pleasing, like it was aesthetically pleasing to the eyes, and I enjoyed the process of it, and I just loved sailing around. It was good fun. It's not like like for instance, I wouldn't have a completed save and I'd be sailing around knowing all of the locations, but I used to have a lot of fun not knowing all of the islands and just sailing around and exploring them. That was phenomenal. Like, I loved that style of gameplay, and I just missed my opportunity to get past that moblin, annoyingly enough. But, you know, some people really don't like that. And I remember when I was watching Goran50's Let's Play of this game back in 2008, he had to do like an opinion poll on whether or not people wanted to have the sailing cut out of the game or to keep it in. And the reason why was because there's a large percentage of people who can't stand the sailing aspect of this game, and I think it's great. Like, I think it's really cool. That's one of the big aspects of this game that I really like. Yeah, I think Wind Waker's a really good game. As far as Toon Link, people got over that by the last decade, pretty much. It was just all of the people who were still sour from the Ocarina of Time days, and they wanted a more... Okay, what it was there was some kind of demo recording that was released by Nintendo in 2000, I think it was. This is, like, my memory of this is super vague, but I think there was some sort of demo recording that was shown at some... It wasn't E3, but it was some sort of... the equivalent of E3, I just can't think of the word for it. Like, some sort of game show that was designed to announce new games, and, whatever it was at the time. It was more popular back then. It's not popular anymore. It may not even exist anymore. I just can't remember what it's called. And the point is that they showed something that was completely different to Wind Waker. Obviously, the precursor to what later became Twilight Princess, where it showed Link as an adult fighting Ganondorf in a very different visual style to what we got with Wind Waker. And then people were thinking that it was this cool continuation to Ocarina of Time, but with better graphics. And then they came out with a teaser for Wind Waker, and they saw a childish Link, a somewhat childish art style, and people went ape shit, basically. People were pissed off, and ever since then, at least for the end of that decade, it took people a good 10 years to get over it. And it was during that 10 years that I got into the Zelda series. It took people that entire decade to get over the fact that Toon Link was a thing. So, my introduction to the Zelda series was people being in those two camps. Pro-Toon Link and anti-Toon Link. And my position on the matter was that I didn't give a fuck. Like, it's not about what Link looks like, it's about how the game feels to play. Seriously, like, imagine caring whether or not it's Toon Link. Who gives a shit? I can appreciate something like, I don't like sailing around all over the place. Hey, I don't relate to that at all. I love sailing, but I can appreciate that as a gameplay aspect, some people might not find that fun. But Toon Link? Like, just shut up and play the game. That's how I feel about it. Like, if you shut up and play the game, you'll realise it's actually a really fun game, and that you shouldn't be complaining about Toon Link. Like, Toon Link. The funny thing is, it seemed like a much more reasonable grievance to have back then, because it was commonplace. But when I look back on it now, it's so stupid. It's like, well, who has a problem with Toon Link? Especially, like, the more time has passed, the more people have stopped caring about Toon Link, because it's just how it is. People came to terms with the fact that, hey, Toon Link is a thing, and that's not what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on the gameplay, because that's what's immortal. That's what is something that can be judged regardless of how much time passes. It's how it feels to play. And that's a good example of how good A Link to the Past is. That game came out in 1991. 1991! And a person who, in my opinion, like, as far as I'm aware, I don't know much about kids these days and what they grow up with. Fortnite, I guess? But I reckon, like, some little shit who plays Fortnite all the time could get A Link to the Past, launch it up today, and have a good time with it. Now, that game's from 1991, and I would guarantee that a kid of today would be able to enjoy it. What that means is that that game, when you look at it, from an objective standpoint, is actually really good. Like, you can get a lot of fun out of that, and that transcends any era of gaming. You can just play that shit and have a good time, and that's what it's all about. Because by the Super Nintendo, they had mastered 2D games, and 2D games to this day exist in an indie format, really. And you can sort of enjoy them as modern games, even though they're 2D, but they mastered 2D games like more than 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago now they mastered 2D games. So you can play the best of the best from 1991 and enjoy it today. And that's what A Link to the Past is. Probably the best game of the Super Nintendo, I would say. So, yeah. Yes, I have come to my senses. As far as continuing the recording, yeah, definitely. We have a lot more time. I plan to record for a lot longer than this. So, Shadow Claw, I will be recording for a lot longer, so just for you to know. I plan to do at least 3 hours, probably more than that, I would say. It's like, it's almost 1 PM, and I haven't done anything today, but whatever. We'll just allocate this day to streaming Wind Waker, why not? So, for an update on the beer, it's empty. I've had, what I have in the glass here is what's left of it, and, yeah. So at this point, I will, well, not at this point, but once I've finished the beer, I'll be on to the port, just to have a repeat of what I was doing in the previous recording. Welcome back, cicadas. I love you, cicadas. You are so good when you sabotage my recordings. You're so fun. But anyway. For some reason, Ganondorf is being referred to as Ganon in this game, and I've never really understood that. Ganon was the beast, Ganondorf was the man, and yet the man is being referred to in the name that is usually used for the beast in this game. I blame the King of Red Lions for being lazy, or should I say, I blame Daphnis No Hansen Hyrule for being lazy and shortening his name, so he should be calling him Ganondorf. I mean, maybe it's an indirect way of saying that because Ganondorf has become so fat, he's basically a pig. Calling him Ganon is a good way to insult him. I just came up with that again. So I've got, that head is so big. No, sorry, that head is almost as thick as my head. And then, don't worry. Second joke is that the King of Red Lions calls Ganondorf Ganon because he's so fat that he's like a pig. So, I mean, I could have a comedy routine at this point, basically. I cracked myself up. So, point being that apart from all of this text that I'm not reading, maybe you're reading it, you probably aren't. But if you are, then you would be able to see that we are now at Windfall Island. Without reading the text, I can see that I'm at Windfall Island. So, yeah, all we need to do here is get a sail. And we have enough rupees to do that. It's funny because in the previous recording, I did not have enough rupees to do that. But there is a way to collect rupees on Windfall Island, so. My current rupee counter is 81. You can't see that, and I'm not going to show you, but we have 81 rupees. We need exactly 80 to be able to purchase a sail, which is needed to reach Dragon Roost Island from this point. And Dragon Roost Island is our first port of call when it comes to the first dungeons of Wind Waker. So once we get to Dragon Roost Island, we've more or less kickstarted the game into its, I guess, I don't even know how to continue that sentence, but the point is that we will be doing the first dungeon in Dragon Roost Island, so it is important that we are able to reach that. So we'll be able to properly continue the game at that point. He said, how does 80 rupees sound? It sounds phenomenal, my man, with the big, what is that even? Parker? That's what Americans say. A parker. Yeah, so he's wearing a parker. So, I mean, I don't know. Is that something that you wear when you park your car? I don't know. Maybe it is. Because, fuck me if I know what parker means. But, we would say coat. Because it's a coat, you see. It's not a fucking parker. Like, you wear it when you park your car. Fair enough. But as far as I know, in this era, we have a little thing called air conditioning in a car. So you shouldn't need to wear that in the car. But if you're driving an older car, fair enough. But, yeah. I'm just going to stop possibly insulting Americans at this point. And, oh, I was about to go and play the minigame with this guy here with the battleship, where we go smear every single time we miss, but we don't have enough rupees to do that. We only have 1 rupee, because obviously we had 81, we then spent 80. What does that leave us, kids? It leaves us with 1 rupee, so. Yeah, that's the reality. So, realistically, we don't really need to do anything on Windfall Island right now, because we've already done what we needed to do. The requirement here is to get the sail, and if you don't have enough rupees, you can find pots around the place and break them, and yeah, it's easy, it's no problem. See how we have 3 rupees in this pot? Sometimes you can get in excess of 10 rupees in one pot, so you can get like 1 blue rupee and 1 green rupee for a total of 11. But if we go in here, we'll be able to rescue Tingle, so that's something that we're going to do while we're here. We'll get the Tingle tuner and pretend like we have a Game Boy Advance that can make use of it. Yeah, we really don't have a Game Boy Advance, or I don't. Let's not be inclusive of you guys. You guys are not. Like let's say for instance that I didn't have a Game Boy Advance, but one of you did. Sounded like I said didn't, but without the T. But anyway, point is that if you guys had a Game Boy Advance, one of you did, that wouldn't make a difference to the recording. So I'm not going to be inclusive of you. It matters. What I have is what matters, basically. So, yeah. Instead of saying, we don't have a Tingle Tuner. No, sorry. Instead of saying, we don't have a Game Boy Advance, I will say, I don't have a Game Boy Advance. So, yeah. I used to say Game Boy Advanced, because that makes a lot more fucking sense to me. But it's actually Game Boy Advance, because to me, it's an advanced Game Boy. So you would say Game Boy Advanced. But, because you have to understand, kids, and I've always been, when I was a kid, I always spoke very good English. Always. That's just how I've always been. So, for instance, whenever a kid would say H instead of H, I would tell them, can you fucking speak English? But, so for example, when kids were talking about the Game Boy Advance, I thought they actually meant Game Boy Advanced, because calling it Advance is just like, that doesn't make sense. Game Boy Advance? It would make more sense to refer to it as an advanced Game Boy. So, I always called it Game Boy Advanced as a result of that. But as you can see, as it's written here, it says Game Boy Advance without the D. So, anyway, what do you do? This fat man with the red nose, who perhaps is cosplaying as Anton LaVey. Not really cosplaying, but you know, he's got the beard. Does he have the moustache? Yeah, we'll just say he's like Anton LaVey. So, Tingle is basically a freaky green version of Anton LaVey. Yeah, I just feel that, because that's why I always called it Game Boy Advanced, because it made more sense, but maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's, you know, a Japanese produced product, so maybe in Japanese they call it Advance, but when you translate that to English, it doesn't work quite as well. But the reason why I would always call it Advanced instead of Advance is because I never actually had a Game Boy Advanced, or Advance, whatever. So I was never properly educated on the correct way to pronounce it. So yeah, I'm sure that if I actually owned one, I would know how to correctly pronounce it. It's just that I never owned one. So yeah, I was never a portable gamer. I was from the DS crowd, so 2004 and beyond. So the Game Boy Advance, I think, was 2002, 2001 sort of thing. And then the original Game Boy was like 97, something like that. Then you had the Game Boy Color, 98, 99. Or maybe the original Game Boy Advance... No, sorry, the original Game Boy was 96. Let me double... I've dropped the controller, and I've also tilted the Wii, and everything's a problem. But basically, what I'm going to do right now... What about PSP? In terms of the dates, I don't know, I think the PSP might have been 2004, like the original one. Let's have a look. We're going to have a look at the dates right now. I'm going to have a look. PlayStation Portable original release date. I'll just answer your question first. I was correct, 2004. So we'll have a look at the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. I'm going to guess 97, 96. Game Boy original release date. It's 1989. 1989, and I just said 96. I feel like a fucking idiot. Anyway, so obviously I know nothing about the Game Boy. Holy shit. I actually thought it was 96. Anyway. Actually, I need to go and fix my Switch as well. One moment. Because basically I have a wired Gamecube controller, as the earlier viewers of this stream would know. And if I pull the wired controller too much, it pulls over my Wii, and then like the domino effect. I've got the Wii falling, the Switch falling over as well, so I had to go and fix the Switch as well. So yeah, interesting, isn't it? So the Game Boy, the original Game Boy was from 1989. From my knowledge of older game systems, in 1989 they had other game systems, they're more shitty ones like Game & Watch and things like that. But I guess the original Game Boy really was from all the way back then. Now that I think about it, the original Pokemon games were definitely from the earlier 90s, so like the black and white ones, you know. But I never would have guessed 1989. Maybe 1992, I would have guessed if I had a fucking brain in my head, but anyway. If the question that you were asking, Shadowclaw, regarding the PSP related to whether or not I was playing it, I didn't have a PSP until 2009. The reason being that I was never really a... Oh god, I don't want to go backwards through here, hold on. But yeah, I didn't play the PSP until 2009 because I was a Nintendo gamer. So I was traditionally a Castlevania / Zelda player. And what brought me to the PSP was the Castlevania series, because Dracula X Chronicles was put on the PSP. And Castlevania was never strictly Nintendo. It might have been originally, but, you know, it was on Sega systems, for instance. Like, very early Sega systems. And then, of course, Symphony of the Night was a Dreamcast game. But, yeah, I always identified it as a Nintendo game, because I was a Nintendo player originally, and through Nintendo I played Castlevania. So, yeah. The first time that I played a Castlevania game that wasn't on a Nintendo system was, well, no, sorry, the first one that I intended to play that wasn't on a Nintendo system was on the PSP, which was whatever it was called, Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles, which was released in late 2007, as I recall. And the funny thing is, I do want to actually get sent down here because it's faster. But, yeah, you can pretty much see where the trapdoors are because you've got the stone floor and the wooden floor. It's very easy to see. But we get dropped right in front of the King of Red Lions. Yes, I have found myself a sale. You're not wasting any time, are you, mate? But yeah, the, what am I saying? Yes, I haven't actually played Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles. Now, this is a very important point to mention because it was Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles which brought me to the Monster Hunter series, which is insane. So, I've played so much of the Monster Hunter series since 2008, 2009, yet I've never actually played the game which brought me to the Monster Hunter series, which was Dracula X Chronicles on the PSP. It's incredible, I know, but that's the world that we live in. Sometimes things don't make sense. And I can tell you one thing, I don't make sense a lot of the time. And I haven't played that game. I really want to play it, and I'll let's play it when I do play it. I'll guarantee you that much. Anyway, guys, I need to go to the toilet, so I'll be back in a brief moment. I'll see you guys then. And I have returned. Anyway, so we're almost done with this beer, which I will mention for those who are interested, is 8.5 ABV. I'm trying to get that scented. Just so you can see the label on it, it's quite nice. But it's a fairly rare beer actually, that's why I consider it to be a special thing to have on camera. My local bottle shop has quite a few in stock, but it is quite a rare beer, so anyway. Excuse the brief disappearance, it's just that I had to go and grab my Gamecube controller, which was not actually... So I did end up getting the Tingle Tuner, it's here, and as I said, it has no use unless you have a Game Boy Advance connected to your GameCube or Wii. So, anyway, we got the Picto Box as well. If we go to the Forest Haven, collect a... Is it a... What is it exactly? I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's... Is it a firefly, maybe? In a bottle. Basically those bright things floating around in the Forest Haven. Not actually in the dungeon or anything like that, but in the Forest Haven area where the Deku Tree is. If you catch one of those in a bottle and give it to Lenzo in the Windfall Island location, he will be able to upgrade your Picto Box to the Deluxe Picto Box, which takes coloured pictographs, which I will mention look like utter dog shit in this game, so don't expect them to look nice, basically is what I'm trying to say. So the wind is blowing in the direction where we need to go, and it's not very difficult for us to see where we need to go, because it's this big freaking thing in the distance over there. It's the Dragon Roost Island. But before we go there, we're actually going to head to Pawprint Isle, I believe it's called. It's basically between Windfall Island and Dragon Roost Island. I can show you the sea chart here. It's this square here. You will only have one island in each of these squares. There will never be two. So the island in this square, and you can see Dragon Roost Island is our destination. It's in this square here. But the single island that is in this square, it says unexplored sector rather than unexplored. When you sail through here, it's not that this sector is actually going to be marked on your map. What you need to do is give bait to the fish, and then he will actually draw it on your map. Just going through this area will not mark it on your map, basically. So calling it an unexplored sector is actually a little bit misleading, so... Anyway. So we're going to go to Pawprint Isle first and foremost, and the reason why it's called Pawprint Isle is because you've got the main isle, and then you've got these little circular isles surrounding it to create a paw print shape from a bird's eye view. So there are these funny guys over here, they're called treasure hunters I think, and they have this little submarine, and they also exist in Phantom Hourglass I believe. And you can talk to them and they'll just... I mean, the main guy will call you Bub. And it's a bit weird, because it reminds me of Captain Underpants. And I can tell you that I haven't read anything to do with Captain Underpants since like 2005. But anyway, apart from that, which is... Anyway, point is that the guy calls you Bub. And, yeah. Nothing else to really say about that. I'm just looking for the entrance to this frickin' thing. Isn't it here? Oh, it's here. Just had to use my eyes, do excuse me. Captain Underpants. I think they made a movie about that, didn't they? Jesus, they made a movie about that. And the only reason why I know that is because they were advertising it on the buses in my area for a period of time. It's like the Captain Underpants movie, like what the fuck? It was kind of funny, I didn't mind it, you know, he had... Principal Crap, I think his name was. Yeah, it was a funny little comic that they had. I do wonder if I still have them somewhere. I might. What I loved about them was that they had these ridiculous long names. Like, they were just so long, the names. Like, lines and lines of text for the title of the actual comic. It was quite funny. But, anyway. I also like the artwork of the covers as well. They look quite cool. But that was quite a long time ago. I don't think they're popular anymore, but maybe some kids still know about them. But anyway, the point of coming in here at this point, at this early point in the game, the reason why I say early point in the game is because we don't have access to bombs to get the full benefits of Pawprint Isle. No, I'm a fucking idiot. This is Bomb Isle. This is Bomb Isle. Or maybe Bomb Island? This is not Pawprint Isle. I think I've just had an epiphany that I'm an idiot. So, you know, it's very important for one to understand that they're an idiot, right? I've just had that moment, so... Anyway, so we can open this chest and we will gain access to a piece of heart. Oh yeah, Shadowclaw, you've read that too. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, shit. Yeah, I remember that. No, I'd forgotten that until you mentioned that. The quick flip pages to see the animation. And of course, that wasn't unique to Captain Underpants, of course, but my experience with that particular thing in comics is from that. Because, you know, I didn't grow up in the 70s and the 80s. I didn't read, like, the old Superman and Spider-Man comics. I wasn't like a Marvel DC guy. And of course Marvel and DC have been completely stripped of their respect through Hollywood, which is whatever. But, you know, they used to be pretty respectable comics, or comic book producers or publishers, whatever you want to call them. Now they've been relegated to the status of intellectual property holders of shitty Hollywood movies, but not that I watch them, but they're shit, basically. Just the fact that they exist means that they're shit. But we'll talk to this guy over here. But yeah, the point being ultimately that they're shit. We can speak here. So yeah, mighty fine boat you got there, bub. You must be searching for treasure on the seafloor too, aren't you? No, because I can't actually access the treasure on the seafloor. I don't have the grappling hook yet. And that's something that we get from the first dungeon here. So, I'm sure that, you know, in the cupboard behind me where I leave all my glasses, I probably have a Captain Underpants freaking comic somewhere, but couldn't be bothered getting that out. It's not so important that I'd get it out, but anyway. Regardless. Yeah, see ya. Fuck off, I'm trying to sail away. I need to get used to the fact that it's a... because in the HD version, I think you would press A to sail, because the sail wasn't actually an equipable item in the Wind Waker HD. It was instead an add-on to the King of Red Lions, which is a weird thing to say, an add-on, but that's what it was like. So you wouldn't actually have an item to equip, it was instead just... you know, you get on the King of Red Lions and you press A to sail, I think, so. I don't have an exact memory of that, but if my muscle memory is telling me to press A to sail, that must be what it was, so. I think we're about to get a cutscene to, not long after we see the ring around the island, which will appear in a moment. There we go. So, not long after we see this, we enter a cutscene, I think. Not that, I mean, that's something that I learnt a long time ago, not during the previous recording, because at this point in the previous recording, I was not paying attention at all, I can assure you. I was just completely on another planet. Not just because of what I was drinking, but also because I was focused on issues that I was having with the internet. Because I was aware of it at that time. Shut up. And I was pissed off. because I was having fun recording, right? And then I was having these issues at the time, and I'm going, I'm really pissed off, like, because I've just spent all this time recording and there's like recording problems, so obviously that's not the best situation. Let's get into the port. This is my port decanter, fun fact. I'll show that to you. And this is my port glass. You guys haven't seen me drink port on camera before, but I love port. Anyway. It's not every day you see someone doing this, but I'm not normal, basically. I'd like to wipe up the residual port that is in the pouring nozzle, but I don't have any tissues to do so you'll have to excuse me. Cheers. So for the rest of the recording, I will be on the port. Looks hella fancy. It is hella fancy. That's what port's about, my friend. You drink it out of a beautiful crystal waterfalled glass like this, and you have a nice decanter for it. That's what port's about. If you don't know what port is, it's basically fortified wine. So it's wine that is of, I think it's double the alcohol of normal wine. And so the idea is that you savor it even more than regular wine. Generally when you drink wine, you don't want to drink it too much. Like, you don't want to have like a lot of it. Well, not so much a lot of it, but you don't want to drink it too fast. The idea with port is that you drink it even slower, so you have more fun with it. Anyway, out of all of the glasses that I own, and I own a lot, this is my oldest glass. Well, not actually my oldest. My oldest is, I'll show you it one moment. This glass was manufactured in 1970. This is my oldest glass, actually. It was designed by Per Lutken for the Home Guard company, but anyway. I'm just like casually not even sitting on the fucking chair and playing the song, but anyway. What we're being told to play right here is not actually a song that we can make use of. It's just an example of how the Wind Waker works, and we're just being taught how to use it at this point. That's sort of an opposite version of the... I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the Cyclone song that allows us to actually warp, so... But yeah, this is a very nice glass here. This is not the only ship's glass that I own. It's called a ship's glass. It's designed by Per Lutken, and this particular line was discontinued in 1990, but this particular glass that I'm holding right here, like this exact glass, was designed during the first line of its production in 1970. Well, not designed, but actually physically made, produced. So it's in very good condition considering its age. You know, it's getting towards 50 years old at this point, so yeah, that's a long time ago. A bit older than me, but anyway, this glass here is not quite so old, but what I mean by old is that it's the first glass that I own when it comes to consumption of alcohol, I guess. It's Waterford, so the manufacturers, I guess, they're called Waterford, and it's a crystal port glass, and it's a very nice glass, this one. Anyway, not to give you a lesson on this stuff, because that's not what the live stream's about, but it ends up being about that sort of thing because... Oh, it managed to reach that rock, which is cool. And we end up getting some more rupees as well. So I've been recording for 114 minutes here, which is almost 2 hours. But I plan to record for at least 3, so we're going to definitely... Oh, shit. The reason why I was running in a circle there was because my analog stick is having some problems actually communicating itself to the game. And it happened just there. There we go. That was actually perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So I wanted to throw it above me and then have it explode in midair and hit that rock. And I'm going to miss that 10 rupees. Scheisse. We have more bombs here, so we can blow this up without any problems. We press R to lay it down on the spot. And then press A to throw. But, yeah. So, the bomb, okay. Just trying to remember what we need. So, this bomb here will blow this one up. There we go. No, that's not the way you throw it, Doomlink, actually. Put it over here. There we go. Now, I'm just gonna get my my water. What's the word? So I have a claret, I have a decanter, and then I also have a carafe. That's what it's called. This is a carafe. This is a water carafe. So this is what I use for water. I just had to remember the word. Have to excuse me. This is my water goblet. I often drink wine from this, but it's actually a water goblet. This is just to keep me hydrated. Because one thing to know about alcohol is that you need to keep yourself hydrated while drinking it, because it's when you don't keep yourself hydrated. One moment. Stream offline. No! No. Reconnection successful. So we've probably ended up having a skip of some description there, but anyway, that's alright. I'm sorry for that. I wish I knew. It's just that because that wasn't an actual internet issue, I would guess that that was a application issue or an application issue. It's saying that I have been live for 1 hour and 58 minutes, so what that would indicate to me is that it hasn't stopped being live. Therefore, it should not create 2 videos. Based on that, it crashed for a sec, yeah. I'm sorry about that. It's just OBS being retarded. I have to tell you that OBS is pretty good in a lot of ways, but sometimes it does stupid things that I don't understand, and I've been able to work out the syncing problem. If I sync while recording in OBS, it will remain consistent, but there's a new problem that's just arisen now where it decides to lose connection to OBS. Or my internet decides to lose connection to OBS, but that's not in any way related to the original recording that I did of Wind Waker before, because that was actually something to do with my poor internet connection back then. I'm able to have a look at my, like, a live value that represents my internet, which is currently at 2,700 kilobytes per second, which is 2.7 megabytes per second. So that tells me what the internet speed is right now while live streaming. Now, that's fine. I'm in the green. It's when you're in the orange and the red that you're having problems. If you're in the orange while live streaming, that's a problem. But I'm in the green, and I'm always in the green. So yeah, that's what it means. When I say in the green, orange, and red, it's like you've got this square in OBS, and if you're in the green, means you're cool, means you've got no problems. But despite being in the green, I had a disconnect with OBS, which is annoying. So anyway, as long as that doesn't happen again, And as long as it doesn't happen for too long, because if a certain amount of time passes where I'm not connecting to OBS, that's going to result in 2 separate recordings, because once I've lost connection with the live stream for a certain length of time, YouTube is going to identify that as an actual end of the recording. This is annoying. So my Gamecube controller is being disabled at the moment, if you can imagine that. I can imagine that. Sounds pretty normal to me. Don't jump off the edge, Link. It's alright. We're having problems with OBS, Link, but that doesn't mean you need to commit suicide. We're not at that point yet, fortunately. Anyway. So we have officially been streaming for 2 hours. What I'm actually going to do is stop looking at YouTube for how long I've been streaming, and I will instead look at OBS, because OBS is giving me an exact time. Whereas once you hit the 2-hour mark on YouTube, it stops telling you by the minute how long you've been recording for, or how long you've been streaming for in this case. So I'm going to start looking at OBS properly from now on when it comes to how long I've been live streaming. It's not exact, it's off by maybe 2 or 3 seconds, but hey, when you're looking at 2 hours worth of streaming, 2 or 3 second, like a 2 or 3 second discrepancy is not a concern, so yeah. I'll just be looking at that from now on. Yes, indeed. So basically, at this point in time, we need to talk to a depressed young boy who is the son of the man that we are talking to right now. Now that I look at this guy's face, his beak is colossal. Absolutely colossal. Like, I can't believe that his beak is so huge. It blows my mind, but yeah. I mean, if you actually look at that, imagine if my face, like I had a beak up to here. Imagine I had a beak up to here, and then it curved up to here. So this entire spot here, from these 3 points, was a beak. Imagine that. That's a fucking big beak. I mean, holy Jesus. Maybe because he's like the head of the village, he has a bigger beak. I don't know, but that's a big beak, basically, is what I'm telling you. Yes. He may just give up on it for getting them, but the point is that I'm going to make it so that he can get it very easily, or get them very easily. The point is that the dragon Valoo is pissed off. Kind of like how I'm pissed off with OBS not being cooperative with me at the moment. But anyway, the dragon Valoo is currently having his tail messed around with by the boss of the Dragon Roost Cavern. And once we kill the boss of the Dragon Roost Cavern, Valoo chills out a little bit. The reason why Valoo being pissed off is important is that when Rito are of the age to receive their wings, I don't know, they go to Valoo and Valoo gives them the wings, I don't know, or gives them the scale, I don't know, like shit, I don't know the actual story, but the point is that Valoo is key to actually allowing Rito to fly once they become of age. But because Valoo's pissed off, he's not letting anyone fly who is becoming of age. And one person who is of age is in fact Komali, who is the son of the guy who we were talking to before. And Komali is very, very sad that he cannot fly at his age because Valoo's pissed off. And so he's lost all confidence in his ability to fly, his ability to acquire the ability to fly, and his ability to function as a Rito in Rito society. So we have to make some sort of attempt to make him feel better about himself. So we've just received the delivery pouch, I think. Delivery bag, sorry. And we have not received a letter inside this bag. So what we need to do first is talk to Medley. Medley's going to give us a letter to give to Komali. So instead of talking to the fucking father of Kamali and getting the letter from him. We need to talk to him, receive the delivery bag from another guy, then talk to Medley, some random girl, get the letter from her, and then give it to Kamali. No wonder this kid is depressed. Seriously, like, I'd be depressed as well if my father were so avoidant of my personal concerns. Yes, give me the letter, thank you. I mean, imagine living in such a small place and you need to communicate by letter. I understand that this is a delivery tribe, but seriously, we have reached the point where maybe we've lost touch. Maybe. Sorry. I will be able to help you soon, Medley. Medley has a problem of her own, and that will directly relate to the dungeon of this area, and we'll be able to engage in that fairly soon. But first and foremost, we have to speak to our best friend, Kamali. I can't wait. So you can see he's playing with his ball. Not his balls, but his ball. He might also play with his balls. I'm not always here to watch him and what he does, but I would guarantee that when we're not around, he locks his door, plays with his balls, and then returns to his ball, singular, to have some fun. Why do I think that? Because he's around the age where you would play with your balls. I say that, but I've never played with my balls. I mean, who would play with their balls? I mean, what the fuck? I don't get much of a... Anyway, sorry, I'm not even going to get into that discussion, but balls? Like, I'm not into balls, sorry. Like, sorry, I need to go into the, Let's say sorry a few more times. No, to be honest, no matter if... It doesn't matter how many apologies I make, I cannot apologise enough for the fact that I'd mentioned playing with one's balls, so... Anyway, yes, it is a letter from your father. Oh, sure, telling me to be brave is easy enough for him. It's not like he's the one who went through that horrible experience. It's not like he still has to go to get a scale from the... Yeah, that's the name of the dragon. It's, the name of the dragon is... So, it doesn't matter what's actually written there, that's how you pronounce it, so... Just keep that in mind. Holding this calms me down. It's so pretty, isn't it? It's called Din's Pearl. My grandma gave it to me. My grandma used to be Valu's attendant. She was the only person on the island who understood Valu's something or other. Oh, grandma, if she were here, I could touch her balls too. Anyway, let's go. I'm done. I'm sick of talking to you. Shut up. Urusai! Anyway, so, shut up. Shut up. I'm a do-nothing guy, according to this kid, so we'll just go and continue doing nothing while we kill Goma, and then allow Valu to give this kid a scale. In the process of actually doing that, we will be doing nothing, so yeah. I don't know, this kid knows more about it than I do, clearly. Yeah, I'm having some problems with my analog stick on my controller. It seems that Link is doing whatever the hell he wants, in spite of whatever I'm doing with the analog stick. So, that's a little bit of a problem, but we'll be able to see. We'll be able to see how that affects our gameplay as we continue. So, we'll go and talk to... Oh, never mind. So, talking to Medley is not going to achieve anything. Maybe we want to go through here, but I don't think we want to. I think we want to be on ground level. I think at this point we look down over... Yep, so we want to go down to the ground level. But before I actually continue, because keeping in mind... Ooh, I have 40 rupees, but I don't need more than that. If I really wanted rupees, I would be able to talk to... the postmaster or whoever he is, and sort some letters and get some rupees from sorting letters. But anyway, Medley is somewhere around here. There she is, she's down there. We'll go talk to her in just a moment. If you can forgive me, I need to go to the bathroom, so I will go and do that, take care of nature's business, and then I will be back to continue playing. And so I return. Thank you for your patience. Anyway, and the worst part is that because my controller has a limited length as far as its wired aspect is concerned, I've left it on the bed, which is all the way over there. And that's not within my reach, so I'll have to go and grab it. Oh. Anyway, I'll go and top up my my glass, if you don't mind. My controller was vibrating and it led me to look at the game going, what's going on? And then I remembered, yeah. Rather than things going on, it's more of a case of shit happens, but consistent shit, in fact. Because the wind is very powerful, and it results in the controller vibrating. The reason why I say consistent shit is because, like, it's not some one-off bizarre situation, it's instead something that's happening on a cycle. So, you can see these dead plants here. We'll be able to make at least one of them happy fairly soon. But first and foremost, we need to talk to Medley here. And, yes, we actually came. Yes, yes. Or I actually came. Whatever. And then we can make a joke about coming. But we won't. Instead, we will make reference to it and then leave it at that. Because that's all we need to do. The joke has already been made. It doesn't sound right. I may be partially to blame for the bad turn that Prince Kamali's taken. See, Prince Kamali's grandmother was the great Valu's former attendant. She was an amazing woman. I was honoured to have her as my teacher. She was kind and brave, and unsurpassed in her dealings with the great Valu. I'm not yet worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as her. Okay, just shut up and get to the point. If only I'd possess... shut up. Link, I'm sorry to ask this, but I need your help. Okay, I want you to go to the small shrine that's near the peak of Dragonry. Okay, shut up. Okay, wind under my wings. This is the point. It was highlighted in red. It's obviously important. I will help you, sure. Pick me up. Then face the ledge. Gora and 50 seemed to find the fact that we needed to pick her up to be very funny. I still don't know why. The fact that she was talking to us and then she said, okay, pick me up, that seemed to entertain him a lot. I don't know. Doesn't entertain me that much. Okay, watch for the particles. See how the particles are moving around? We want to watch for when the particles move in the opposite direction to where we are. And then that means that the wind itself is moving in the direction where we want to throw Medley. So we need to wait until the wind is blowing in that direction, then we can throw her and she will reach her destination, which is at the top of the cliff there. We needed a little bit of height to be able to throw her there so she could reach that point, so we needed to stand on that little incline in the ground there. Anyway. You will be fine, yes, I trust you. But you're about to give me something very important. You're about to give me something very important. Thank you, I will take it. She throws me nothing, but I receive a empty bottle. This is what's important. So getting this bottle will allow us to collect the water by the big stone that is to our right. And then we can pour it on the plants. Because we need to water our plants, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll go and equip it to X. Got some water. Link's pretty happy that he's collected some water. He's feeling pretty proud of himself. That's good. Positivity is the key to life, I would say. If you're negative, you will only attract negative scenarios to you. But anyway, let's go pour this on the thing. The thing. Let's go pick this up. There we go. And now that we have destroyed that rock that was blocking the spring or whatever it was, we will have access to lots of water. Now what this means is that this will fill up the area. So we can essentially swim to the opposite side. As you can see, the water level has risen to the point where we can climb that thing there. And that is something climbable. So we can go and climb that there, and done. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 18 to 19 minutes. Now here comes the interesting part. Throwing these bombs into these pots. And they are pots. Just need to... That's not... Whoa, Jesus! It's not what I wanted, actually. If I were completely honest, that's not what I wanted. That's alright. Need to get a little bit better. It's alright. I was on target, it's just that I threw it too late. So. Okay, that actually got in the pot, apparently, so. No. So sometimes I have problems with these pots and then other times I don't. Depends on my state of mind. Did that get in the pot? See, I don't know if that resets it all. Let's have a look and see if it resets it all. I can't see from here. We'll see as we continue. Alright, so one of them is down. Either I missed the last one, or it just didn't register as having gone in the pot because I died before. There we go. Excellent, that's what we wanted. You can hear the sound of a puzzle being solved, the do-do-do-do-do, and that means that, and that's exactly how it sounded, by the way. Sorry for the slurping. It's not very social, I agree. It's not social to slurp. But anyway. So what we want to do here, this is pretty obvious. This is the entrance to Dragon Roost Cavern. And once we complete Dragon Roost Cavern, I will be ending this live stream. I think. I don't want to live stream for as long as, like, 4 hours, I don't think. Because within 4 hours, I'd probably be able to easily at least get to the Forest Haven. Or maybe I could do that. We'll just have a look and see. We'll see how I feel. It really depends on how I feel. So, I was joking about how serious I was taking the word feel, by the way. How I feel. Yeah, so, anyway. These water pots, we don't need just yet. We will need them later. Actually, we'll pick up this while it's still alight, because we need to light these torches. So, if we light these torches, we should get access to the map or a key. It's either a map or a key. I just can't remember which of the two. So we're about to find out. If it's a joy pen, I will cry. Okay, it's a key. It's alright. You won't have to see me legitimately cry on camera, guys. So you should consider yourselves lucky or unlucky. Either or. Get this out of the way. Pick this up. I got 1 rupee from that. Watch. Watch this. See how the big pot and the small pot have the same number of rupees in them? That makes me angry. I'm very angry. Because the idea is that the bigger pot should have more in it, but it doesn't, so you're actually wasting your time, basically. Anyway, we're going to take this, whatever you want to call it, the timber boards. We'll call them the timber boards. How about that? Anyway, we need another key, so we have to continue this way first. Now, to get to the other side, we need... I wish I knew. I honestly wish I knew. Anyway, so it has to do with the Gamecube controller not being hugely cooperative. Because something about the analog stick, and I don't know if it's my specific game... Ooh, Jesus, that was nearly bad. It was good in the end, but it was nearly bad, so that's the point. Anyway, let's climb that. Ooh. Ball sack. That's the statement that I think is appropriate to make following that scenario. Anyway, let's just jump here. There is a pillar of fire that appears between here and there, but it wasn't appearing just before, so I just jumped. And it's cool. So fuck this guy. And by this guy, I mean Keys. I'm gonna go grab this bomb. Run across here. Throw it. Now, just to give you an idea of how I was when I was first playing through this game in 2006, the process of grabbing this bomb and crossing the bridge and throwing it there was really challenging for me. And the reason why was because I was just not used to 3D games at that time. My memory of originally trying to do that is one of my more vivid memories when it comes to having problems with the 3D aspect of Wind Waker. And I was like, to look back on... Anyway. But yeah, looking back on that, yeah. Obviously I was having a lot of problems with the 3D aspect of Wind Waker. Let's throw that more in the corner here. That should be more space for me to get onto that side. I think this is a joy pen, by the way. Joy pens are useful later on, but not right now. Map. I was wrong. Whatever. Generally, the rule is in Zelda games that the first chest that you access in a dungeon has the map. In the case of this dungeon, the first chest that we opened had a key. Doesn't matter that much, but yeah. It essentially undermines my theory, which is something that I'm concerned about. Because at one point or another in my previous Let's Plays, I would have said, oh god, can you fuck off? I'll get your chew jelly, I don't care, just give it to me. Give it to me, baby. And then we're done. Come on, open the door. So yeah, at some point, probably during my Twilight Princess Let's Play, I would have said that the first chest that you open in a dungeon in Zelda is the map. But after 3 years have passed, I have now confirmed that I can officially outrule the possibility, or what? Oh god, you've gone and taken that hit. I needed to throw that on that. There we go. Get out of my way. It's funny because I meant to throw that sword at the wood, but I instead hit a choo-choo, which is not what I wanted. Easy free key. Yeah, it's just the level being bullshit. It makes it look as if that getting a key is actually some kind of challenge that you need to undergo. But all I needed to do at that point was light two torches, please speak English, Doomlink, and then I've got a key. So I guess what it's doing is introducing you to the type of puzzles that you can engage in this game. So if we get this rock and throw it at these bombs, guess what? So we have one key here. I don't think you can see that. No, you can't see that. And I also bumped my mic. I'm sorry about that. But we have one key, which allows us to continue to this locked door that we couldn't access before. So thanks for watching, by the way, Shadowclaw. It just makes a difference to be able to interact with at least one person while I'm recording live. While I do focus on the fact that people can watch this after the live recording, it's nicer to be able to talk to someone while I'm recording live, so thank you for being here. Anyway. I'm gonna grab this, and then I think that if we break this, oh, we get to attack you, so. Did you drop a lightable? Yes, you did. You dropped one of these clubs, which we can light on fire. So when we light that, we can burn this. That gives us access to something important. Probably a key or something like that. Something useful. Grab that heart. Ah, it's a switch. Even more important. It's even more direct than a key. A key is something you have to get and then use elsewhere. If we step on the switch, that's immediately achieving what we wanted to achieve, so. Cool. Now we're outside. Now there are various points, and I believe that there are only 2 points during this dungeon where you end up outside. And that's one of these points here. So I'll mention that if you cut too many of these ropes that connect the pathway or the bridge or whatever you want to call it, you will have the bridge fall. So it's pretty bad. You don't want the bridge to fall while you're walking around, basically. Now this is really quite simple. You can see where the ladder is having the fire burning through it based on the color change. So just basically walk across there when the fire is not burning and then you're fine. Dick balls! Anyway, so what I was actually trying to do there was hold A to sidle, but it wasn't allowing me to sidle, so it was sad times, basically. And what I ended up doing was accidentally jumping off, which is not what I wanted, so yeah, that was the situation. We'll try that again. Maybe we'll kill you while we're here. Come on. There we go. Are you going to give us that? No! You can see that I... What the fuck? So, at this point, you have to understand that I am 1 frame away from the game acknowledging the fact that I'm dead. And I've just picked up a golden feather. Ah, that's really funny. That's really, really funny. Watch this. Instantaneously, once I have finished this text, I will be dead. What? I was allowed to fall in the water at that point. That's more than I was expecting. Wow. So the whole reason why that happened was that I was trying to collect the feather by standing by the edge, but I accidentally jumped off the edge. And in the process of that, I jumped after the feather. And then I got the feather. So what I'm basically telling you guys is that I achieved what I wanted to achieve through that death. So I'm happy. I'm officially happy. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, we'll kill you again, but I'm not going to get your feather because I've already gotten your feather. I'm content. I'm happy. I don't care about it. I've decided that I don't care about it. Sidle. Now we'll go. Yep. It doesn't matter if that starts to have a lava coming out of it. You'll be alright as long as it doesn't actually shoot out. So at this point you need to not fully climb on because you don't have the space to fully climb on. And I think that if you attempt to fully climb on, you will simply fall off. So yeah, don't attempt that. We'll grab this bomb and throw it. There we go. Have some water. Because my throat needs it. Oh! I thought that I would have fallen off there by not getting the distance that I intended to get. But anyway. We've been recording, or streaming in this case, for 2 hours and 32 minutes. So, once again, I'm no longer going to check YouTube for that information because it doesn't tell me. It just tells me 2 hours ago, but it was actually 2 hours and 30 minutes ago. So, yeah. Through OBS I can get the accurate information, but not through YouTube. Grab that, please. Okay. I think I need to use A to grab that, but because I've got this guy wanting to talk to me, I have to press A to do this first, and then I can grab that. Yes, I will spread bait near their nest if I had bait. Get out! I have 41 rupees, by the way. And they don't sidle. Grab that, thank you. So it wasn't letting me grab it before, good to know. I have 47 rupees now. So what we want to do, this is an interesting little thing that we need to do here. So if we light this, then throw it. It's fairly easy, it's not very difficult at all. What do we get here? I think we get a joy pendant. I think this is the first time we actually get a joy pendant from a chest. It's not the first and last time, but it is the first time. Ooh, we got a compass. A compass. A compass or a compass? Depends how you choose to speak English. So Shadow Claw fucked off. See you, Shadow Claw. Thanks for watching, by the way. I do appreciate the fact that you were watching. But now I'm lonely again. But hopefully you guys watching in the future will still be able to see me, so yeah. I mean, maybe Shadow Claw will come back. When Shadow Claw does come back, or if he comes back, I will welcome him back. But anyway. So we got the key that we needed to progress, and now we will progress. Now at this point, no, not at this point, later on. So I was wrong about only 2 times being sent outside. Oh, we got the key. Okay, cool. I want that golden feather as well. But I was wrong about only twice being taken outside. In fact, it's 3 times that we're taken outside, so that's good to know. The key that we just picked up, we need to get it from that nest. That's how we continue through here. In the future, Shadowclaw, do say goodbye to me before you leave, otherwise I'll be very sad. Because when you're the only viewer, I notice when you leave, basically. And I like to say goodbye to you before you leave. Because I understand that, you know, you have other things that you want to do during your day, or perhaps you even have things that you need to do during the day, other than watching me play through Wind Waker, but I'd like to say goodbye to you at the very least. Anyway. So, if we can grab a... wherever it is, we'll grab this. It's still a light, actually. Right, we'll kill you guys. Die, die, die. Please die. We'll go and get some hearts, thank you. I think I got an item ball, did I? I did. Crazy, getting an item ball from a case. Not quite what I was expecting. Missed those items. Or not items, but rather rupees. Pick that up. Light that. And then light the 2 torches in here and then we can continue. Which is very nice. Boom. And then we can go across here. Now, at this point, I believe... No, it's not here. It's later on where we can... you'll see. You will see. It's just not here. What are you talking about, Doomlink? Don't worry. You'll see it later on. What's this? Oh, this room. So we need to actually kill all of the moblins in this room before we continue, I think. And I'll show you where they all are. So there's one in here. He's hiding in the pot. And he's not the only one hiding in a pot in this room, I'll mention. So, keep that in mind. Joy Pendant, thank you. Shadowclaw is officially gone. No, seriously, I'm that upset about it. Because he didn't say goodbye. I just want him to say goodbye, nothing more. Joy Pendant, I'll take that, seriously. Where are the other guys? Are they in here? What? They couldn't be in here, could they? They are! You little pricks! Are you the last one? Maybe. Maybe there are only 2 enemies in here that are hiding. Let's have a look. Yep, only 2 enemies. Good to know. I am pretty cool with that, I will tell you what. Anything else that might be in these pots I'm not interested in. Keeping in mind, of course, that I'm intending not for a 100% run, but simply to be able to finish the game in this playthrough, so... This guy is interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a platform to be able to fight him on, or at least an extended platform, and then we're going to... Don't get back in there, mate. You know what, fuck this guy. That's what I've decided. Fuck him. See how I didn't need to actually bother with that guy? Like, yeah, that's how you play the game. You save yourself time, okay? Welcome back, Shadowclaw. Because you disappeared from the stream for a period of time, and because you're like the only guy watching right now, I can see when you leave, so welcome back, by the way. Anyway, so this will give us access to a return pot, as you're about to see. And, yeah. Not to put you on the spot, Shadowclaw, but because you are the only one watching, I can see when you leave, so... That's why I welcomed you back. That was the plan. It was either a case of me welcoming you back, or being sad and crying because you left, so... So I think at this point we get to rescue Medley, is that right? Because she's, I mean, not that you guys would know, unless you've played the game before, but she's actually been taken away from us. She's been stolen. But anyway, we can do a mini-boss here, and you can see that she's behind the bars there. And once we kill the mini-boss, we will be cool to go and save her, essentially. And she will give us, as a reward for the mini-boss, and keeping in mind that with every single dungeon, when we kill a mini-boss, we are given access to a new item to use. Now, how it works in this mini-boss fight is that instead of getting it from a chest, we get it from the person that we're actually saving from the mini-boss. So, yeah, that's how it's working. There we go. Get that joy pendant. Because joy pendants are useful later on. Not right now. We need it for a land title deed. And then also for the hero's mask. But I don't think we're going to need the hero's mask right now. We might need it for the... well, we will definitely need it for the 100% run Let's Play. But not for this live stream recording that we're doing right now, I don't think. But anyway. That's a skull mask. Shut up. Just give me the stuff, please. Thank you. That will do. I don't need all of the rubies. I can pass up these rubies because they're only green. Some creature is doing awful things to the Great Valu's tail. He is so angry. The Great Valu's tail hangs down into the something or other. So basically we're very close to being able to fight Goma, who is the one who is actually pissing off the Great Valu. And I'm sorry about bumping the microphone, but there isn't too much that I can do about that. It's because the microphone is in such a position that it's actually really in the way. So anyway, we have a third viewer at the moment. Welcome, third viewer, to the live stream. Thank you for arriving. The third viewer was here for the best part of 5 seconds. And then they left. It always happens that way, doesn't it? I actually don't care. But the point is that it's funny to mention every single time it happens, so that's why I mention it. Anyway, we got the grappling hook. Now this is useful not only on the sea, but also on land. We can grapple to various things that are we can grapple to. We can grapple to them using this grappling hook. Now, on the sea, it is used as a salvage arm, which means that we can go to like rings of light on the sea, and we can get treasure from the sea floor using this item. So that's worth mentioning, I think. Anyway. Yes, don't worry, Medley, I will do what I need to do here. Now, I'm just going to go to the toilet, and then we're going to finish this area once I return, and then that will probably be it for the live stream. We've probably got another 15 to 20 minutes left of this live stream to go, and then we will be done. I will be back in just a... Okay. I have returned. And Shadow Claw is gone again. Anyway. I have to get my GameCube controller. One moment. Because I keep leaving it on my bed, because if I leave it on the laptop, it sort of has to sit on the keys, you see. Yeah, all good, lady. Shadow Claw is back again. He left again, and he's back again. Both of those scenarios that I just mentioned happened twice. Oh. I pressed A while drinking. I'm pretty good, aren't I? Anyway. Okay, so I need to grappling hook again, I think. That's annoying. Whatever. No. Fuck. Okay, there we go. Just go, man. Just go. Alright, so we are very close to the boss, actually. And we were very close to falling off the edge there also, but that's a side issue. I keep pressing A to grappling hook, but I need to actually press the items key to be able to do that, so... No! I thought I had learnt from my mistakes, but I was wrong. Alright. How can that not be on target? I'm too far away, that's what it is. Now I know why. I just had to use my brain. Yes, indeed. Just get some water. Don't mind me. It's funny because as I put the my water goblet down, as I put it down, a splash of water got in this. Now that means I have a slightly watered down version of port, but it tastes the same, so it's okay. Anyway. What are you doing? No, dick balls. You can see that the moblin actually fell off on his own without me influencing him at all, and he was holding on to the edge for dear life. That's really funny. I'm very entertained by that fact. So if we go and break these pots just to maybe kill him, I don't know, to get something else as well. No, it's just killing him. So what we want to do, actually, that's a joy pendant that's appearing there. But rather than the joy pendant... Holy shit. No, fuck, it's pulling over the Wii. So, just to tell you what happened there. My hair was in a weird position. So I went and flicked it, okay? Now, it went in the port, okay? So, it's gone in the port. And it's, like, the port's gonna taste the same. That's fine. It's just that I've got fortified wine in my hair. The ends here touch the port, so, anyway. I have to go and fix my Wii and my Switch. One moment. I'm honestly sick of having to do this, but anyway. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So, I'm going to show you what to do here. Spin attack. Spin attack. And spin attack. And then we've got a door, but we'll also open this chest. joy pendant, as I said. These will, as I also said, be useful later on, but just not right now. It's one of those situations where you go, well, why do I want a joy pendant? And you're like complaining about it, but you do want them later on, I can assure you, so yeah. Ugh. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to hit all 3 of those, and then we end up back here, but we want to wait till it drops back down, and then we can access this. This is what we want. That is a very interesting shortcut that we just opened there. Interesting in the sense that it's not how you would normally unlock a shortcut, but that is a shortcut. So, well, I say that it's a shortcut, but now, I don't know how I actually achieved that, but I achieved it somehow or another. Did you see that? Because I was just running around and I just randomly jumped off. I did not intend to jump off. And in fact, based on what I was doing with my controller, I was not actually running forwards at the time that I jumped off, so. I actually managed to get back on, even though I was playing like a complete idiot, so that's pretty funny. Anyway, so at this point, we do have something to grapple onto, so we'll grapple onto this. No! Stop pressing A to do that, you need to press the grappling hook key. Now we just need to swing here. It's because our weight is what's pulling this, so as we fall backwards, hold on. There we go. That's all we needed to do for that area, and then we grapple onto here. Now this is where the fun starts. We need to not fully grapple here, but instead stop in midair, turn, and then do this business. You rock back and forwards with the analog stick. You go forwards, backwards, in time with the movements of Link. Not the movements, but rather the sorry. Anyway, the movements of Link. Yeah. No, stop. Anyway. Just long story short, not the movements. Not the movements. It's a V, not a B. I'm not Japanese. I don't replace V with B. So. Yeah, I need to hold that down. So how we do that? Follow what I'm doing. Follow my direction. Then open the chest. Now, at this point, we're pretty much able to access the boss room. So, we don't actually have to kill any more of those weird centipede looking things. We've acquired the boss key and that's what we needed. Stop. Get out of my way. Yep. Jump from platform to platform. And what we're doing right now is returning. Alright, you're dead. We're returning to the room that we were in before with the return pot. And it's the room, I mean, I don't know if I actually demonstrated it. I don't think I did. So that's my mistake, I guess. But it's a room that has a boss door in it. Now that we have the boss key, we can actually get there. We were able to get that... Actually, no, I don't think we were able to get there before, because we didn't have the grappling hook yet. But we can now get there because we have the boss key and the grappling hook. Get out of my face, please. If you wouldn't mind. I'm fine with that. I'm a patient man. I can fall in the lava and then go back. That's fine. Drop, and then jump onto the platform. And then there you go. Done. Easy. So, I'm spilling beverages all over myself at the moment. Fun. It's fine when it's water, it's just when it's poured it's a problem, but it's mostly water, which is okay. I don't really want to go here. That's what I want to do. Now I remember. So if we... see how we can line up with this here. There we go. That's what we want. So now we're at the starting area. And if we return to the beginning, waiting for this of course, I believe that we can access the beginning of this dungeon. And that's what we want right now. We want to go to the beginning. No! Stop, I want to. See how the amount of run-up you get makes a difference? That's important to mention. So, just do that. It's good. Yeah. All of this here is optional, fun fact. I'll collect these, why not? Never mind, I thought it was going to be Choo Choo Jelly. Or Chew Jelly, whatever. I don't care. Oh, ball sack. Oh, swallowed a bit more of that than I wanted to. Anyway, sorry, I'm being stupid. So I'm just letting this thing go, just to be safe, because if I start moving while that thing is threatening to fire out, I might regret it and get sent down to the bottom. It's all about the slow and steady wins the race concept. Okay. So to describe what happened there, I was being interrupted out of my sidle maneuvers and was instead getting hit by this stupid bird, and then it caused me to jump off the edge. Hold on, joy pendant. Joy pendant! Pick it up. Pick it up, please. If you could possibly pick it up, I would be very, very happy. But, yeah, anyway. I know that's not very racially friendly, but... I was at the very end of that attack from the geyser, and I still got hit. That's really sad. Anyway, the reason why I'm able to make stupid... well, not the reason why I'm able to, but the reason why I am making stupid Indian accents is because I've recently been on the phone to a lot of Indians. Patience is required at this point, basically. I'm sorry for playing like an idiot, guys. I'm really sorry. It's just that, obviously the simple stuff is having difficulties correctly translating with my current mindset, so we just need to let the simple stuff work with my mind as time goes on, and then it might work. That entire sentence makes no sense, but I don't care anymore. There we go, we'll be able to get this gold feather, thankfully. An item ball with a gold feather, maybe, baby, no. No, not at all. I've just gone and pulled over the Wii U. No, the Wii and the Switch. Now, I'm a very patient person. No, I'm a very patient person, but this is starting to push it. This is starting to push it. No, I need to start being sensible. So now I can go and sidle here and then move! Dick! I was moving, I swear to God, but it just didn't want to respond to me. So I don't care about your gold feather, your gold piece of shit, I don't care about it. I'm holding A to sidle and I'm going to wait for this thing to be done. Thank you. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, now we're done. We've gone and... Okay, we're almost back in that room where we wanted to be. I've been recording for more than 3 hours. 3 hours and 2 minutes, that's cool. So, I don't really want to record for much more than this. I don't mind recording for 4 hours, but I would prefer it to be less than 4 hours. Because at that point, I will have recorded too much once I'm at the 4 hour mark. So as long as it's less than 4 hours, I'm okay. It used to be less than 3 hours, but for a recording like this, I don't mind it being less than 4. So let's say for instance that it's 3 hours and 50 minutes. That's okay. I just don't want it to be as much as 4 hours. Stop! Fuck. Oh, ballsack. More than anything, my throat hurts from all the commentary that I've been doing lately. And by lately, I mean during this recording. So, we'll open this. You know, the amount of backtracking that I'm doing right now is not actually necessary. There is a much faster way to do all of this, but I'm just too retarded to remember how to do it. And I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry. But, maybe if I did the return pot business, that would be okay. But I just don't know where the return pot is because I'm stupid and fucking... yeah, anyway. The big point overall is that I'm stupid. Shit! That's the big point here. I'm stupid, so as long as you understand that I'm stupid, we'll be alright. Okay, so that did not get on target there. So we need to try again. Now we can do that. Excellent. Excelente, to speak in Spanish, of course. Now we're back where we wanted to be. Now, had we return potted to this point, we would not have to have taken this much time getting here. But I'm fucking stupid. This is what you have to understand. So, because I'm being very stupid at the moment, I've allowed myself to do this. So, and by allow myself to do this, I mean I've allowed myself to actually take this length of time to actually get to this point. If I die here, holy shit, I just realized if I die here, I don't have a fairy to save me. Hold on. Fairy, 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 fairy. Heal me, please. I don't need a fairy during the boss, I need a fairy now. Now, had I died there, that would have been so bad. Come on. Let's fucking do this shit. Then you can just die and get out of my fucking face. So, had I died there, that would have been really bad. I think there's a Knight's Crest in here. Is that right? It's either a Joy Pendant or a Knight's Crest. The Knight's Crest is in another chest, I think. Yeah, it's in this one. We'll open this chest. Yeah. Correct. So once we collect a certain number of Knight's Crests, we will be able to talk to Orca in the... Oh, well that's fine. I've basically wasted the fairies that I could have possibly gotten, but who gives a shit? This boss is very easy to kill. And then once I kill this boss, we'll be done, basically. Play the cutscene. That's fine. A bit more of an epic entrance for Goma in this game compared to the likes of, say, Ocarina of Time. Shit. So what we want to do is grapple to Valu's tail 3 times. On the 3rd time, that rock will fall on Goma, and that will be the last time the rock falls. And at that final point, the rock will break Goma's armor, and then we will be able to kill Goma pretty easily at that point. So, yeah. Yep, that's the 2nd break. And I think this is the point where the tail will drop down to be able to grapple to it. More or less correct. Alright, now we won't be on a higher level, but that's okay. We don't need to be on a higher level at this point. The armor will break, as you're about to see. Now the real fight is happening. Now we're going to grapple this face, or the head, whatever you want to say. The eye, the face, the head, doesn't matter. That's the boss, guys. Pretty easy. Anyway. No, it's pretty easy. And then Goma's head. Now, I don't think you guys need to be convinced of the fact that the Goma in this boss is a little bit more intimidating than the one in Ocarina of Time. Not necessarily any more difficult to fight in this game, but definitely more intimidating. At least in the opening cutscene and then whatever else. We'll go and collect this heart container, and then that will be it for this live stream, more or less. Excuse me. So we're going to return to Dragon Roost Island. We're currently in the dungeon, Dragon Roost Cavern. And then, as you're about to see, we will be returning to the outside portion of Dragon Roost Island. And now the Great Valu is making creepy noises. It's like, okay, thanks for creeping me out. I do have to say that as far as like a dragon making noises, that's some of the creepiest noises I've heard come from a dragon, but anyway. Regardless, that's it for the first dungeon of Wind Waker, and we will be doing more in the next live stream, of course. Ideally, I would like to do the Forest Haven dungeon and Great Fish Isle and all of that business, maybe even the pirate ship minigame in Windfall Island in the next recording. I'd like to do this within 4 to 5 live stream recordings, this particular live stream series. We'll see how it goes. I actually don't know what it's going to take, but we will have to see at the time we are recording it. We have received Din's Pearl. That is indeed something that I require as I continue through this quest. The 3 items that we need to start with are Din's Pearl, Nehru's Pearl, and Lanayru's Pearl. Is that correct? Nehru and Lanayru? Is that even right? No, that's not correct. Nehru and Faror. So Din, Nehru, Faror. Those are the 3. Nehru and Lanayru. For fuck's sake is what I meant to say. Anyway, the Wind God Wind, yes. Now, one interesting thing to mention about Pyjama mode is that in the original game, when we're seeing text in the Hyrulean language, it is instead translated into English in the Pyjama mode. So that's one difference in the Pyjama mode that is worth mentioning. So, yeah. I am a hero indeed, thank you. The best pair of wings ever. Thanks so much, Link. See you again someday. I will indeed see you again someday. You have an important role to play, Medley. And you will see what that is soon. But regardless, I thank you all for watching this live stream. I believe that that is it for this part. There's nothing more that I really want to do. I've been recording for 3 hours and 13 minutes currently. And I think that's plenty for this particular live stream that I'm doing right now. I'll do a few more as I continue through the game here, and yeah. This is just a sit down, relax and play Wind Waker live stream that I'm doing at the moment, and it is in the form of a series for the simple reason that there will be multiple videos for this actual video series that I'm doing here. So yeah. I would not even dream of doing the entirety of Wind Waker in one video, because I don't really want to allocate an entire day to playing this game. That's just not really what I want to do. I mean, maybe some people want to do that, I don't, so sorry about that. Regardless, I will see you guys in the next video that I'm recording for Wind Waker, and I hope you enjoyed this one. For those who are watching this live stream live, thanks for watching. And for those who are watching in the future, during the post-commentary, I thank you for watching all the way through. With that, I will see you guys in the next live stream recording, which will be recorded maybe next week, probably. And for now, I bid you farewell. Bye-bye.